Hey, are you seriously podcasting alone?
Nah, I'm with my...
Hello, everybody. I am John.
Wow, that was brain rot.
But I wasn't
that was straight brain rot.
We are not having a good time.
Hello, everybody. My name is John. I'm sitting here with another John
Yo.
and one Nicola.
Hola.
And on the other side, I have Priscilla.
Whoop whoop.
And today we have a guest, a special guest. You'll only see this in the video portion, which might be coming out. I don't know.
Gato.
We have my little
Gato.
baby, my baby
Gato.
girl. Well, baby, she's an elderly woman.
She's an elderly. She's an old bitch.
She's older. She's older than all of us.
We got this old bitch today.
She does not bark, so you won't hear her.
What are we talking about today?
What is the subject matter at hand, Priscilla?
So we are going to stay topical, because it's the Olympics. It's the Paris Olympics 2024. And nothing of note has happened since, of course. Everything's been completely fine, not weird.
No drama whatsoever.
No drama, no problems with like medals and everything, or no rescinding of medals. No
cheating controversies.
No cheating controversies. Nothing.
No steroids.
No steroids at all, surprisingly.
We'll never use steroids at all.
At least not directly before.
With everything that was going on in the Olympics now, I was like, oh man, what other Olympic Games had a lot of problems or a lot of little fuck ups and everything.
Oh, there's going to be a long list of that.
And there is, but I found two, which one I had the most fun with, so I wanted to present that to you guys today. But I'll give you guys a little bit the origins of the Olympic Games, because it traces back to the Greeks. Obviously, the earliest accounts trace them back to 776 BC, and every 4 years, in honor of Zeus, they would hold these events that constituted wrestling, chariot racing, just like racing runners, etc. And it was held every 4 years at the Olympia. It was kind of like this giant stadium that they called that for. Oh, what you got?
Nothing. Is that Olympia? Isn't Olympia also a place in with the gods? Like the gods live in
Olympus.
Olympus.
That's the Olympus. That's in the heavens.
Yeah. You gotta die to play in those games.
I read about it. I read about it in a book.
Which book?
Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief.
It was held every 4 years because as the Olympics got more popular, they also weren't the only events dedicated to a god. There were 3 more, which put them all in the Panhellenic Games, and it was one for Zeus. The Pythian Games were for Apollo. The Nemean Games were for the goddess Nemea. She's like the goddess of nymphs, and I was always confused on what a nymph. It's kind of like this kind of more sensual, sexual kind of like.
I like that.
I knew you were gonna.
Is it like a
As soon as
siren?
you said sexual, you go,
Is it like a siren?
Not exactly, no. Sirens are really in the Poseidon domain, and they are really not they're creatures of
the depths.
Yeah. You don't want to, but she's a nymph. It's more like beauty, more sexual stuff and everything, and sensuality. And the Isthmian Games set in Isthmia in honor of Poseidon, so it's more swimming.
So the games in that competition was just strictly orgies.
I was trying to find it. I probably could have found it, but
I put you in the wrong
see what I
files
was-
of the internet. It was,
Yeah.
I got worried.
Nymph Games, Rule 34.
Yeah, Rule 34.
We should have never taught Nick Rule 34.
no, you never knew, but
Yeah,
now
Yeah,
it's
shocked that you know that actually.
I learned that shit a month ago or something.
yeah, and
Oh.
he's looked up a fuck ton of things.
Yeah, did you try out anything?
everything?
What did you try out? What's one did you try out? Give me one.
I mean, what I can think of right now is Terminator.
Terminator Rule 34.
Oh yeah, that's the easy one too.
Yeah.
That's a very easy one.
As
You can
soon
find
as
a
we
bunch.
put we said that, and we're just every time we would say something and it would be a little tiny bit sexual, he'd be like, Rule 34.
Rule 34.
Yeah, let me look at it.
And he'd
Welcome
be
to the
looking it up
2010s.
as he's telling us that. I'm like, what the fuck?
I gotta say, it's kind of underwhelming though. A lot of it is just animated pictures.
Some
Oh,
tits
yeah.
are too big.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just
Too big.
It's some it's like the size of like 5 heads at once.
I know.
Like you can't even see.
Looking at 5 heads, the Hydra, mythical creature. Let's go back. Segue's on point today.
So the Olympics, like I said, were held every 4 years with the Isthmisia Olympics, and then there was the Pythian every 3 years, and the Nemea every 2 years. It was a way to measure time for the Greeks, and I imagine a better way to honor the god of choice with like the proper time and respect.
Yeah.
So it was almost kind of like the Winter Olympics and the Summer Olympics, just
Or
enough.
a lot more often.
Yeah. Now it was mostly the Greeks and the Greek colonies that participated in these games. It was still a costly thing to do for the athletes that wished to participate, as well for training, lodging, and transportation.
Well, you work on a farm all day. It's like, all right, you gotta go disc throw now.
Surprisingly, there was still a lot of training back then. Like, they had coaches. There was like people that came in coaching and everything. I'm guessing I don't know if it's the same amount of coaching as like the gladiators would have. Like
there was a lot more gay
they
sex involved in it.
That's true. Maybe that was like their prize. They're like,
I mean, that still happens today at the Olympics, but yeah. I'm just saying, there's a lot more lovemaking between the coach and the
it was just a bunch of
ingenue.
300.
What do you call that?
Just a
the
little-
athlete. Whatever.
Just a lot less
Olympian.
condoms in the nightstand.
That
there
happens
were
too, but
condoms, like,
it's not
condoms.
consensual.
Yeah. Moving on.
We're not talking about
Moving
that.
on.
All right, guys.
Talking about the Olympics,
There's a
guys.
dog
Sorry.
here.
Keeps getting weirdly sexual.
There were 3-day events spearheading the most popular games, such as chariot racing, wrestling, boxing, pankrathon, stadion, and various other foot races. And the oh my god.
Pentalathon?
Is that a dinosaur?
Pentathlon. No.
Ankylosaurus?
The dinosaurs were in the antique of Greece right before they finally went extinct.
Pentathlon is a mythological creature.
Pentlathon.
Penthlathon.
Pentlathon.
Penthlathon. Yeah.
Pentathlon.
Yeah, there you go. Pentathlon.
Pentathlon.
It feels really. Yeah.
Does it have something to do with 5?
With
Because of the pentagon.
I'm thinking about
pentathon.
it. Maybe.
I mean, they those are their
because
words.
it's like 5 like stuff in it. Yeah, maybe.
Deeper controversy to come.
people getting pent.
Pent. The
Oh,
They
yeah,
got
yeah.
pent up.
Yeah, so long johns and everything. These games were put to rest, unfortunately, when the Romans arrived. And the Emperor Theodosius, who was a devout Christian, elected to abolish the games as they were regarded as pagan practices. Because again, it was to worship.
He got there and he was like, "This is sus. Please stop.
Is...
Stop that gay shit."
My son's gonna join this shit.
I always see it as like maybe he was like, I don't have the stamina for all of this, so fuck you. Like, I don't want to see this.
Like, okay,
Don't flex on
He
me.
took his t-shirt off. He's got a big like beer gut. They're like, you can't compete. He's like,
He
but
saw
fuck all y'all.
Yeah, he saw all those buff ass men with their little cocks out, and he was like, "These fucking guys think they're so much better than me."
He got tempted. He was like,
Look how small that guy's cock is. Grr!
so
Makes
good.
me angry with my big fat cock. Nobody wants my big fat cock.
Nobody wants my 12-inch. So, reviving the Olympic Games have been attempted numerous times since then, before the 19th century, but it isn't an easy task. It takes huge amounts of preparation, marketing, and money to be able to pull it off. Sporting events happen worldwide and aren't limited to one country, so you have to have them on board as well. As luck would have it, there was one man that was determined to make that seemingly impossible dream come true, Baron Pierre de Coubertin. A Frenchman.
Goddamn
Fuck
French.
it.
I knew it.
Oh,
Get bent.
Yep.
Get
It's
bent,
the French. I knew you guys were gonna be really happy when
You
I
at
said
home
it.
might be getting tired of this bit, but you can believe it. It's not a bit.
Fuck the French.
Get the fuck out.
Fuck out of
Wherever you are.
Go back to your country.
Even in France. Get the fuck out of there.
You don't
I'm
even
fucking
want.
coming for you.
You don't even want to be in France. Get the fuck out of it.
Oh, that's true. If you couldn't tell, this Frenchman was an avid sportsman. He was especially devoted to academic sportsmanship, as he himself was a member of the Académie Française. He organized games himself and was part of the French Union of Athletic Sports. As he got more and more into rugby, football, and various others, he knew the best way to make these sports more popular is to make them more internationally known. So he was like, let's get these people fit, and I want everybody looking fit. Fit.
I want
make it
6 packs
Yeah.
all around the room.
I want 6-packs from all around the world.
With great effort of convincing the Greeks and other sports committees around the world, they end up conducting the first ever Olympic Congress organized by Baron Pierre de Coubertin and held at the Grand oh my god.
More like cock rest, am I right, guys? He's
Uh,
right to say it.
Aha.
I gotta say the Greeks aren't doing so well in the Olympics no more.
Yeah.
Say that. Let's just
Yeah.
say
It's because
that.
of all that yogurt they've
Well,
been eating.
it's also it's like they also have other
All that
fish
Greek
to
yogurt.
fry, unfortunately. Like
Economic unrest.
Yeah.
Do you really think? Yeah. Do you really think you could stay in shape when you're surrounded by foods like just fucking souvlaki's, lamb chops, all this delicious food?
Everyone's fat over there.
Everybody's fat now, man. Hell yeah, and poor.
That's the worst way to
They're fat
punctuate
and poor.
that. I like how we were both like, yeah, like the economic crisis. By the way, they're fat now. Oh, and poor.
They can't afford those nice steroids.
Quarters are right, but fat.
Oh my god! But yes, Baron Pierre de Coubertin, him and the Olympic Congress. It was held at the Grand Amphitheater at the Sorbonne University from 16 to 23rd of June, 1894.
That doesn't even sound like a real place.
The amphitheater. It's
The
Sorbonne.
Sorbonne.
Sorbonne. Oh, that's a French word. Sorbonne.
They just make that shit up on the fly.
Fucking idiots.
Where
You fucking assholes.
the fuck do you get your name?
There's a city called Pau.
Just Pau?
P-A-U.
Pau. There's a city called
Pau.
Poil,
Oh, that's a nice
Yeah.
one.
Can we really? Can we
which
really?
means hair, by the way.
Can
It
we really
means,
talk
like-
shit about names? We have a street called Tecumseh.
But
That's a
funny.
fucking. That's a native
Funny.
word.
No, it's not. It's yo. It's like this, bro.
It's pronounced as Tecumseh.
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 So you add an
Lightning
accent.
strikes
Fucking
behind.
racist.
Yeah.
It's literally
call
a
it
tweet
racist
Tecumseh,
after
tabarnak. They built the street. They're like Tecumseh.
Tecumseh. According to the article, The History of the Olympic Games by Calliope Saccavisti, I quote, 2,000 people attended, including 58 French delegates representing 24 sports organizations and clubs, and 20 delegates from Belgium, Great Britain, Greece, Ireland, Italy, Russia, Spain, Sweden, and the United States.
That's like the whole
representing
world.
White
14
as
sports.
fuck.
That's almost like the Olympics today.
The whole world? Belgium? Like,
Well,
I'm
they
sorry,
have-
people
you know, it was
who are from
ironic,
Belgium.
right?
Okay, we
Because I
will
was
gather all the
They
white
got-
nations.
yes,
They
very
got
much.
the mountaintop.
Yes, they got the mountain. I was surprised Russia was in this from the beginning. I will say that was something I was.
Well,
a little
they used to be
surprised.
friends, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just I didn't think they'd. I thought later on they'd be interested. I thought maybe from the beginning they'd be like, eh. From the French, they're like, eh.
I think they got worse as like time went on.
As time went on.
I think like Cold War era was more sketchy than anything. But before
that's
it was
true.
kind of
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
like before the United States started to fuck with them. It was okay.
Maybe there were more.
Because what year is this?
1894.
Ooh,
That's
Ooh,
slightly
never mind.
like
okay, so
earlier,
we're
yeah.
okay. Yeah. My
So
bad.
like still a bit 1800s, but yeah. Okay. So yeah. Okay, that makes
Canada
sense.
didn't even exist.
By the end of the conference, the Olympic Games were officially reborn. They were spearheaded by Baron Pierre de Coubertin's leading principle. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Promoting the development of the physical and mental qualities that form the foundation of the sport. Educating young people through sport in a spirit of mutual understanding and friendship with a view to help build a better, more peaceful world.
And unregulated drug use.
Sharing the Olympic ideals with the whole world, and creating an international sense of goodwill.
I bet Russia was going crazy in those games. I'm not pointing fingers, but I'm just saying.
I feel like that's like when like steroids really started to get developed like really well.
Yeah.
If we're going in. Well, you'll see a little.
We make big, strong men in Russia.
And the last one is bringing together athletes from all over the world for a major celebration of the sport.
The white world.
The white
I mean,
world, yeah.
keep that clear.
Yeah, from the,
The
whole world.
mountaintop.
That
Olympus is a mountain, and there's snow at the top of that
there's-
mountain,
there's always
baby.
snow from the
Nothing
top
but
to bottom.
Pure white snow.
They wanted nothing but ad revenue.
Heavenly white snow.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember if it was like a Family Guy joke, but when they were like, "Oh yeah, there were like no sports counts before black people could go in because like how the fuck
it was a Daniel Tosh joke that Amy Schumer stole and put in her film.
It was basketball before the blacks joined, because then it was just unfair.
You ever seen that Canadian heritage moment where like, oh, where the white men invented basketball?
And you just see all of them doing alley-oops and shit, just like all in one place, like missing all the shots.
Did you see the guy who's sweeping the thing? The black guy was sweeping like the floor after, like, can I play? No.
No, stop
No.
it. No.
Get out.
I feel like he'll be too good at this.
Don't ever let him play.
There's a thing about basketball where they kind of started being like, oh, you can't be too physical, like a bit with like the people. I'm not talking about punching, but as in like actually be able to jump really over or like do, because they were seeing that the black athletes had blacker the athletes,
the sweeter
better.
the juice.
The sweeter juice. But like the black athlete had more of like a corporal like physique that was more domineering, so they were like no physical.
That's crazy.
Stop it.
Don't push me, please.
Don't
Crazy. It's like, the Olympics are like.
If you've ever seen the old clips of like when they first got created, and it was like when it was literally just a basket, you know, and then you see like
they had to get a broomstick to get it out.
Yeah. Then you see like when the black people joined, it was so much different. Like it was so much more fast paced. Mm-hmm. But like when it was just the white people, it's literally like 8 people around a ball, like around the basket, and they're just choking. Like they're fucking it
after
all
you,
up.
sir.
They're fucking it all up. Like they missed like 8 times back to back on an alley-oop right under the rim. It's fucking hilarious.
Now, ideally, they had planned to usher this new era of the Olympics in Paris, France, in the year of 1900.
Paris.
But the Greeks kicked up a fuss because, you know, understandably so, they were the ones that originated
This is
the
an
whole
outcry
thing.
over cultural appropriation.
They were literally like,
Is that what's
no.
going on here?
Ha!
Are the Greeks upset?
They were like, no, we're doing this one first. But
I mean, they stole olive oil from them already, so it's.
But they said that they were the ones that originated the whole thing. So instead of the first modern games that were supposed to be held in Paris, they were held in Athens a mere 2 years after the revival of the Olympics. But I don't really want to talk about the ones from Athens because topically the Paris 1900 one parallel with the Paris 2024. You know, it's there, and it was more interesting.
Too much credit to the Greeks. I mean,
true, and also
That's enough. Yeah, it's enough. That's enough. They're not good with credit. Fucking zinger, bitch. Fucking, this is a smart show, bitch. Hell yeah.
Know of your
Gangsta.
economics.
fucking high five around.
Oh yeah. The smartest joke we'll make on the pod today.
But yeah, like the I'm not gonna talk about the one in Athens. The one in Athens, the women were not even allowed to compete in Athens. But it's like half, as in like they didn't really have like a lot of female athletes.
Women weren't athletic back then.
None of them. That's a fact that Nick is stating now. Women were just not athletic. They did not want to do anything.
Only Joan of Arc, and she has not beaten the trans allegations.
I'm going to start with our first story of the Olympics with the 1900 Paris one because it's kind of funny. Good news is women can participate in these games. So it was like the first time they could participate in the modern ones. Yeah, in the France one, which was the second 1900.
Gotta give it to the French. They let them wear pants and they let them compete in sports. That's good on me.
And they don't have to shave either.
Don't have to shave either.
Shockingly, it didn't take long for women to be part of the Olympic sporting events. I was
shockingly.
Honestly, yeah, I'm saying shockingly because I was surprised at the second one for the modern. They were like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but they're not monsters.
I
Keep these ghouls out of
Wait a
here.
couple of years.
I was
Wait till
shocked
the
because
Nazis come in.
I legit thought it was more towards the 50s that they were going to be. I didn't think it was going to be early 1900s, I thought they'd be more like demonstration instead of actual events.
Yeah,
type of thing. So
shouldn't they be in the kitchen rather than tossing the ball around?
Wow. That was the events.
Wow.
It was like
Keeping my
kitchenette
mouth shut.
sets that they brought outside.
She can really handle a kitchen set.
She can really handle it. Look at the way she cuts with those carrots.
That's why she's so good at pole vaulting.
Look how this woman prepares coffee for her husband.
Maxwell House.
Was it Maxwell? Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, shockingly, it didn't take long for women to be part of the Olympic sports. Honestly, I'm surprised it came from the French. I'm also a bit not super cool with the French. Although
She's Haitian. She's allowed.
yeah, I got even more reason why. Although they can participate in games like tennis, rowing, and others, athleticism isn't really permitted for the women. But I don't know if it's again
So what the hell do you do?
tennis, like they did tennis. No, I meant like for the women specifically
yeah.
participate. They
Only
did like tennis. There was archery. There was like that they could do, but the athleticism,
Okay, they
as in
couldn't,
more
like,
like
Wrestling or I don't know.
Yeah, well, the wrestling was not in the
Disc throwing?
1900s. Yeah, stuff like that they
I
couldn't.
feel like a woman could throw a mean disc.
Yeah, but at the time they were like
Especially a
logically-
French woman. She probably spends her time throwing dishes at her husband. Already.
Baguette throwing.
Baguette thrower.
Do they have baguette vaulting?
Oh man, that would have been nice. I don't know. Do you ruin a good baguette that way? Also,
No, not
in
in
what?
France.
No, you use the day old baguette.
Oh.
Yeah.
But also, what oven could take that long of a baguette? Like poles are pretty big.
The Germans will think of something. I'm on fire today.
Damn.
That history class really
I
came
am the
in.
Olympic flame, baby.
If we bring it back long enough for Nazis still used to be a thing, he's there for it every time. He's like, I got it. So yeah, although they can participate in games like tennis, rowing, and others, athleticism isn't really permitted. Like I said, to be fair, I don't know how popular this was amongst women. I don't know if they just didn't think that women could do it. I don't know. It was just a lot of
women
like,
don't even like
eh.
sports.
Wait,
Yeah, they're like-
were they participating only against women or was it unisex?
No. It was
to fight
only.
their
It
man.
was
Okay,
yeah.
because that would be fucking hilarious.
That would honestly, I would have
Listen,
loved this. that would have.
That's in debate now. Still, like it's not happening.
Is it a man? That's our question these days.
Is it a man?
Is it a man or is it a woman?
If
Shout
a
out
woman,
to a man. She won gold.
Yeah, she did. She did.
if a woman is fit though, does that make her a man?
At the time,
That's-
they might have just
At
been
the
like,
time.
no.
Currently,
That
is the
makes her
issue.
a mommy.
Oh
Mommy.
shit! I know. I wasn't there for this one, but it really did piss me off when that girl was just like 40 seconds in, and she's
Yo,
like,
she's a
I was
fucking-
like, "Are you fucking kidding
Yeah.
me? You're a boxer. Like you're gonna get punched. Like
Take
I don't
punches
care."
the hardest hit
She's
I've
like,
ever
"It was the
taken. Like,
hardest
yo,
bitch."
all boxers are different.
Fucking loser.
Yeah, like what do you? Anyway,
Cry
sorry.
more, bitch.
Yeah, like cry me a river. Like you were just weaker.
Cry more or go back to fucking plate throwing.
Now on to the programming for the Summer Olympics. According to Wikipedia, they had dropped weightlifting and wrestling previously from the Athens Olympics. So the Athens one had wrestling and weightlifting, but they took it off.
They
for
thought it was
Paris.
too gay.
I just
was it
don't
too
think
gay for the French?
I don't think the French are strong enough.
Well, this was
for
back
it.
when the French were pretty straight.
Well,
You know when they had
Oh,
a.
yeah,
you know,
I
they
get
had
what
a-
you mean.
They
were
had
they
a,
ever?
well, I mean, they were in World War One.
What?
Were they in World War One?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were.
They are fucked up.
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
had,
they got
they had a
fucked up.
good army leading up to this point. But then,
Yeah.
But yeah, previously in Athens, they did the weightlifting and wrestling. France elected to not do it. Yeah, I guess because they were weak. But they added 12 new sports.
Pussies.
Little bitch. And here's a list of the events that held. So they had swimming, water polo, archery, athletics, basket pelota, which is it's basically
Basket
racquetball.
Pilates.
It's racquetball.
They're pretty gay sports.
Yeah, but that was
wait,
more
is
Spanish.
that the one with the hook thingy or like the little basket in your hand that you throw a ball?
Yeah, like you kind of hit against the wall. It's like racquetball. It's, like the where we have now, it's racquetball.
But with like
Oh,
a
okay, no.
makeshift
Okay, because
board.
there's highlight or pilot something like that. But there's a sport where
the
you gotta
ancient-
you got a thing that holds a ball and you pass it like that. It's kind of cool.
Oh no, I never heard of
Yeah,
that.
I
That
forgot
sounds
what it
kinda
was.
cool.
It's okay.
But yeah, so the basket pelota, cricket, croquet, cycling,
Fuck
equestrian.
cricket.
You don't like cricket?
Did they put Indian in those games?
No. Are you kidding? Did you
They would've
did you
killed
hear
all
the
this.
sport?
They would have what the fuck breaking records before Indians got to play cricket. Like
Bro,
what the
yeah,
fuck?
that's,
They would've
that's why it doesn't count. That's
They
why I
would
said,
have
are
crushed
you
that
kidding?
shit.
They would have immediately crushed it. But
Fucking
It's like
shit.
they only picked like the war sports for the people that they invited. You know, they were like, we're good at this shit, but like you might not be.
you
Yeah,
might not
These guys,
be-
they broke walking to the Congress and like, guys, India's on the phone. They're asking if we have cricket. No, don't say cricket. India?
We have croquet.
Guys, we
It was
have
croquet.
we got croquet.
I tell them no. We have polo.
Oh, okay.
They're
We
like,
can fix that.
Ah.
Shit.
polo.
There's too many bodies in our river. We can't swim.
Jesus.
Not the
Look it up. It's
Teds.
real.
Cycling. Like I'm just slowly going back. Equestrian.
That's
Like-
the horse thing.
Horse.
That's where they dance.
That's why they invited so
No,
many
they just-
white people.
They ride horses.
It's all white sports.
Yeah, you'll hear about more of that. Fencing, football, golf, gymnastic. Football more like,
Soccer?
yeah.
So, yeah.
Uh,
Football.
golf-
Football. No, football.
Football.
European
Euro
Golf is
I'm
football.
just
not a
saying, yeah.
sport.
Golf must be the most
Golf.
boring
golf?
match.
Golf
Yeah, I
did
don't,
not stay
no.
long,
No shit.
but it came back later
Yeah.
on. Like I think 2016 Rio it came
Oh,
back or
okay.
a bit earlier. But yeah, like there's some sports where they were there in the beginning and then got dropped and then comes back.
Well, it's
way
like how
later.
there's breakdancing this year.
Breaking just like
Which is
I
not
was
a
shocked.
sport.
by the way,
you judge
Which-
that not subjective?
It's very subjective.
It is very subjective. So I'm confused how they would like. They might do it like gymnastics with some types of like.
Which of
moves.
these guys had the best seizure?
Bro, did you see the Australian team?
I didn't watch it because I
It was so
don't wanna
fucking
see it.
hilarious. It's like you took your mom like from like the 60s, like when it was first developed, like the breakdancing, and then you put her in there, and she was just like literally doing the fucking worm, but like
Oh,
on the
no.
floor. Like it literally looked like she was having a
Oh,
stroke.
that sounds like a fucking.
And then
sight
she
to
did the
see.
typical like the
Cringe.
typical like 360 on her butt, and then landed with the.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
what I
God.
heard. I didn't
Like-
watch
like,
it because I didn't
She
wanna
really
cringe.
breakdanced from like back in the day. You know
That
what I mean?
sounds racist.
Australia
early
really didn't like her
2000s.
though.
Yeah, and then you see,
they were
like-
like, no, we don't see her. We don't know.
It's funny because she was followed like the person who like set it up, I guess, set up the first
like the beginning, like
yeah,
who started
the
off,
beginning
yeah?
of it that started it off was like doing flips and shit on their head and fucking actual like good choreography. Then you see her like miming her way through it and
Oh
like pretending to
my
break
God.
dance, and then immediately followed up by more badass break
Is she the one that
whose mother
started with
is
like
this?
hopping like a kangaroo?
Yeah,
That's what I
Yo.
kept hearing.
Hopping like a
hopping,
kangaroo.
which I
God.
love.
doing like miming with elbows and
She
fucking
really went Marge Simpson on them.
yeah, full Marge.
sweetie pie. I can break dance.
I can break dance. How
Oh, hell yeah.
Actually, no. If you look at the clip of where Marge dances, it's a lot more fluid than hers.
Yeah.
Damn.
But going back to
Yeah.
it, unfortunately, there was no breaking, so we didn't get to see.
There was no
older
breaking
white
or
people
dancing?
doing
There was no breaking or
Fucking
dancing. God
Doing the Charleston. They had a
Jive-
they had a
jive is
breakdancing
crazy.
Olympics. That was in 1517, and that was in Strasbourg.
Jesus Christ!
Look
no.
it up.
No.
Was that where they came up with the Carlton?
Let me just make sure I got my date right.
Yeah, please. So yeah, the golf was there, but again got taken out.
Nice.
Gymnastics was there. Polo.
Gymnastics.
Gymnastics. Yeah.
Gymnastics.
It's where,
Who can
the
come
far-
the furthest?
No, if you bend far enough and come at the same time, that's how you win.
It was 1518.
No,
Sorry.
you're trolling.
They're bringing back the nymphs.
It's not there. It's
no. It's
gymnastics. I fucked
somebody.
up my
Your
word.
partner bends.
I was
over,
like, you gotta be
Your
trolling. They're
partner
just
bends over, and you have to jizz into their bottle.
But like
Oh,
from
I
far.
do that all the time.
Yeah, so it's based on accuracy.
I could just picture like a white.
chin is 10 points.
Chin is 10 points.
Nose is 10 points.
How
but
much do you
middle-
lose for hair? Or is that a bonus?
No, that's out of bounds.
Okay,
if,
thank God.
if you get
Good.
cleavage with no splash, that's like 20
That's
points.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
No
Yeah, yeah.
splash.
When you
That's
said
crazy.
gymnastics, I just picture like a really fat Greek dude like doing the bridge and just fucking chizzing.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know why.
His little dick comes out of his stomach and there's like,
Yeah, just, yeah.
Are the Greeks still mad that we now all consider them having small dicks? Are they mad about that?
I didn't know that was a thing.
I mean, neither. It's just it's funny now because you said small dick, and I was like, actually, do people think they have small dicks because of the statues? Like, is this now like?
I
a
mean,
known
it was their
stereotype? Is it?
preferred choice.
Well, it's because they
It
thought
was.
they
It was a
thought
sign of
big
power.
dicks were a sign of you being stupid.
Yeah, because like all your brain
The
and
smartest
blood.
fucking guy in Greece was like, I'm gonna run the best PR campaign of all time.
All time for my Smalley.
Little, that was like a fucking not prehistoric, but an ancient PR campaign, basically.
For real. Makes
Just
sense.
like if you have a small dick, you're smart.
Right.
You're a virtuous and smart.
Everybody
person.
keeps giving
Closer to God.
credit. Everybody keeps giving the credit to that guy that fucking revives bacon and orange juice and shit. But
No.
the Greeks did it right.
I
Eddie
feel like-
Bernays is gonna get his fucking episode.
I feel like they still do that now, being like kind of like nerds being just like, but like we're smart at least.
I mean, that's the
We're
Sigma.
at
That's
least we're
that's
smart.
the entire Sigma male.
But at least we're smart.
At least we're
Yeah.
smart.
At least we're smart.
Smart.
Rowing, rugby union, sailing, shooting, tennis, and tug of war. Tug of war was actually
Tug of
part
war.
of the Olympics.
The
And
women's-
honestly, I kind of really want to see that.
The
again.
women's tug of war must be so entertaining.
Do we still have tug of war?
No.
Man, that sucks. It would be so fucking awesome.
It would be hilarious. I
That
would
would
love
be
it.
the funnest fucking thing
It
to
would.
watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would. But the thing is, who would qualify for this? Like, what would how would you really
you
train?
just get
Rugby
10
players.
Rugby
10
players?
really big
Mhm.
dudes.
Fuck
That's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
But what if you could have tactics too? I mean, against like
Well, yeah,
full brute
definitely.
straights.
I mean,
no,
you have
could
to come up with a rhythm of how when you pull and everything too.
And break the rhythm to fuck with their
Yeah.
rhythm.
Yeah.
Bro, Mexico would win.
Why Mexico?
Why?
They're Mexicans.
Let's hear it.
The leg strength, man. They got good leg
They're
strength.
small.
They're small. Exactly. They have leg
Oh,
strength.
like they're closer.
That is true. If you're
They could-
shorter,
yeah,
that'd be
that's true.
easier.
they
Yeah.
have big.
I know, but
like
if
my
you
brother,
weigh,
my brother's not Mexican, but the example of the shortness and the big legs it goes well with my brother.
His brother's not Mexican. He's just Mexican sized.
Yeah,
He's,
yeah.
he kind of looks
he's
Mexican.
Mexican adjacent.
He's got Mexican proportions, but he's very Portuguese.
After a day under the sun, you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't-
Exactly,
you wouldn't
man.
know. Each sport had varying degrees of quality athletes participating in them. Tennis had some players that were already pros at Wimbledon or like even won championships there. So you can imagine the difference in skills between slightly more amateurish rival players. Track and field were mostly dominated by American collegiates, et cetera, et cetera. Like there was like some
yeah.
sports that they were already, I'm not saying more developed than other countries, but the interests in other countries were already there.
Yeah.
It was much more like worked through. It's kind
It's
of
like
like the
Jamaican
beacon.
bobsledding.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Bobsledding. Yeah, the bobsledding team of Jamaica. Yeah. But a lot of sports were niche at first or not popular enough to have true interesting players to watch out for. Some were too pricey, like water polo, to be more than like, 3 rich folks that could participate in because they had the money to do it. There was like
Water polo, low key, one of the most dangerous sports.
What? Because you can drown?
They literally hold each other down.
Yeah, it's
In the
it's
water.
true. Yeah.
They fully like it's like soccer in the water, pretty much.
And there's kayak polo.
Yeah.
What? That
People do it on a kayak.
Yeah.
that's so cool.
But
Like, I feel like
you know how
that's
the game
even
starts off? You know how you
scarier.
break the ball?
How?
You know how like most
Yeah,
sports,
like
there's
yeah.
a tip off?
Yeah.
Well, their tip off, normally one person gets a kayak to the face.
What the fuck? Get the hell out of here.
It's insane. There's a lot of injuries. It's like a really dangerous sport.
Why is this like
I
permitted?
at one point thought there might have been an episode on it, but it's just too brief to cover. But yeah.
That's insane. All right.
Insane. One of my friends used to play water polo, and they'd say like they literally like to get the ball. Like let's say it goes up in the air, they grab somebody's head, push it down,
Yeah.
and then they go for the
crazy.
ball.
Yeah.
So example, they don't get the ball, they're still holding you down.
Holy shit.
So you really have to be like.
what do you
gotta
do
punch
when
him
you're
in
the
the nuts.
lifeguard there? Yeah, like you're the lifeguard and being like, you're like,
Just
shit.
grab a
it's
handful of nuts.
Ref's got to be
bring
on
them down.
point, but damn, bro.
Jesus.
It's dangerous.
Another problem as well, for some of the events, they just weren't popular enough. There were not many players in these games. The biggest problem, however, was how bad the Olympics were organized, resulting in hilarious wins or losses out of arbitrary rules or lack of organization. One of the funniest lack of preparation is the fact that a lot of the Olympians did not know they were even participating in these games. Because at the same time, there was a World Fair happening in Paris. And the World Fair, it's basically, a lot of countries did this, where they would bring out a bunch, like there was like millions and millions of people across either the country, but also like worldwide that would come to Paris or St. Louis or like different places to kind of just see like the exposition that they would do. So like arts or like anything about the culture that they did or anything. It was like very money oriented too. It was kind of like half business, half more showing off your country. So
Yeah.
that was way more popular than the Olympics. Again, they were very new and not even that popular and not big enough to generate a buzz. So the World Fair was concurring. Well, I wouldn't even say concurring, because concurring would actually mean that there was a chance of them being on the same side. They weren't. They were overshadowing the Olympics a lot. So a lot of these athletes would come in and they thought they were just participating in an exhibition match for the World Fair.
Oh shit. And
So-
that had nothing to do with the World Fair.
It had nothing to do with the
what a
World Fair.
disappointment.
So they would win, and then they'd be like, "Hey, here you go." And at the time, they didn't just have medals; it was like cups, trophies. It was like just like a bunch. And they'd be like, "Here you go," and they're like, "The fuck is this?"
Huh.
And I'm like, "What is this? Huh?" I was like, "What?
What did I win?
what is this?" So they were so unpopular that it was unthinkable for the French even to and even its competing athletes to participate in the games during Sundays as well, because there was people that had to
Go to church.
but also it's just like it's the lazy day. It's the day
It's
where you
Jesus
don't work.
Day.
Yeah, you don't work.
Yeah.
So again, they were unpopular. So people are like, "Wait, I have a match on Sunday? Fuck you, I'm not going."
Yeah.
That's so wow.
Three people show up for soccer and it's like, what?
They're like, "Wait, where did everybody go?" It's like, because I don't want to do
Half
it.
the team is Italian and very religious.
Fearing that there would be a full-on protest, they elected that some athletes would be allowed to participate or abstain from the event without being kicked out. Because they were like, fuck, if we kick them out, that's like half the fucking people. The swimming events, as hilarious parallel to the 2024 swimming events, also had to swim in the muddy and questionable La Seine. But at the time, it was unpopular, so the swimmers had to climb over boats and swim underneath them because there was no way in hell those guys would ever move their ships for some measly competition. So imagine a swimming competition where there's just boats just going through it,
That
not
sounds
giving a fuck.
awesome.
Like
They
the
should
most
keep the
dangerous swimming
tradition.
events.
But now they're doing that, but in like dirty water.
Well, it's
Thames.
always been dirty. From what I'm reading, they were like, it was kind of dirty back
Well,
then
I
too. I'm
mean,
like, so
people
I
used to
guess
shit
it
in
never.
Oh, jeez.
A lot of the preparation of the field, especially the running categories, were really, really poor. Runners ran through grass instead of dedicated track. And again, barely anyone cared or watched them run. The 400 hurdles, like the ones where they have to jump over, they were jumping over broken telegraph poles. So like that was their hurdles. So if you hit that, like you're getting like a tetanus shot maybe afterwards. So it was really, really badly organized.
And a sport was born.
Sports were born. Rules were also not quite clear, and not everyone agreed on what was fair or not. For the basket pelota, which again was the racquetball, there was only 2 teams that participated in it, again because there wasn't enough athletes. French and Spain participated in it, but the French couldn't agree on the rules, so they just left. So they just had to crown the Spanish team winners.
Wow.
Because like who else was getting them?
Isn't it their fucking event? Isn't it their fucking event? They set up the rules.
As
They're
if
French.
the French, yeah, as
As
if the French
are
would give a fuck.
reasonable.
They're like, you don't have to
don't know
get to
what
our
the-
rules. Get fucked. We leave.
Get fucked. We don't want to play anymore.
Fuck the French.
I guess they got very used to surrendering.
The lack of regulations also had this team of Dutch rowers that suddenly needed a replacement for a member of their team. The replacement was the coxswain, it's called, and it's a position where you're kind of at I think it was the head or the back of the boat. You don't row, but you steer it. You have
Okay.
to steer.
I do the cockswing when I get out of the shower.
You steer, and never mind. No, I'm not gonna go on.
Don't get into the cock thing.
Don't get
Get a
into
lot
it.
section.
Keep moving. Keep moving.
They grabbed a random French boy, a boy, mind you,
Uh-oh.
like 10-year-old,
A young boy for the cockswing.
to replace the athlete.
Hung like
Missing.
a horse he was.
Which means he's stupid as fuck.
I'm sorry, but now I'm picturing this boy like full on like this steering. It's
Full on, just
there
like
we go.
cock out, guns out.
But yeah, sir.
That day, Perry lived his dream of steering the cock.
Still the coxswain.
Just like we like them, little boys.
I mean, hey, they won. They won with him.
He swung his meat like a furious baguette.
The baguette steered clear.
Let me guess, the French protested the win because he's 10 years old.
Not even. Honestly, there's pictures of him with him, and like he has like a gold medal. This like 10-year-old. That's French, by the way, not even part of the Dutch, too. So it wasn't. So they were just like, yeah, I mean, shit, you won.
Bro, what a wild story to bring back to you for school. You know, you walk into class, you walk into the hallways with a fucking medal on.
I dropped my cock in the water and steered that boat straight.
No, because I want you guys really to think about it. Like you're at the Olympics, like now.
Yeah.
You're walking around, and somebody's like, "Yo, we need you, like real quick. You barely need to do anything. You just need to like move like a manivelle.
They
Just
Marty
get on
McFly
it."
you. Like,
But you know, back then there's a lot less humans on Earth, right?
That's true.
So it's like when
You
they
have to
take
grab them anywhere.
when you think of crowds, like it's not like nowadays you go to Olympics and it's like full packed of people. You know, there's what, couple thousand people there?
Maybe even less,
less?
because like for the runner, like I said, this was concurring with the World Fair.
Yeah.
The funny part with like on how badly that they were overshadowed is that when they saw like the running events and everything, there were more runners than people watching. And even the people that watched were like, like what is this?
It's like in
they weren't
high school when
impressed.
you went to go watch a basketball match in the gymnasium.
Yeah, and like think about even less people seeing them. That's the thing. And this was on a bigger scale ish. So like that's the thing. Like people were really not even that interested. They were like, man, there's the World Fair. Like, why am I watching? You guys are
People
not that
run.
impressed.
Who the fuck are these people?
Yeah, it's like run what? Like even running over telegraph poles. I'm like, I can do better.
Belgium has a talking dog at the World's Fair right now.
Oh, really?
No, I was just
That would have been great.
that was a bit.
I would have loved that though. I got so excited. I was like,
Guys,
talking
that talking dog, it's singing.
It's the
Talk
talking
about
dog.
talking dog.
Oh, my baby girl. As you can imagine, this was a bit of an embarrassment for Coubertin. This was so poorly organized, no one seemed to even really care about them, and they were basically taken as a joke. With all the rule breaking and indignation of playing on days that they didn't even really feel like playing, it was a far cry from the principles Coubertin was trying to implement with the games. But they had learned their lesson, right? Better rules, better regulations, and more marketing should do the trick.
Oh yeah,
The next games would be a lot better.
Yeah.
yeah.
2024, baby.
This is like the
Not yet, yeah.
This is like the plot of Sing.
I didn't watch Sing.
Oh, okay.
That was a niche joke.
It was a very niche joke. Got
I did
anybody
not
out there
watch
who
Sing.
likes Sing?
When like the cartoon movie?
Yeah.
Oh no, I did not
Oh,
watch
okay.
it. How much did you give it?
Oh, it's not a good movie.
Oof. They did not
It
learn
is
the lesson.
actually painful.
It's not good, but
We're
relevant.
we're gonna go through. I'm not gonna say my favorite because there's like a lot of bad shit in this one, but like
The juiciest part.
the juicier Olympics one, somehow juicier than the Nazi ones.
Are we going to go on the Nazi ones?
Not for this one.
For next
But
episode.
for
On the next episode.
I should talk
we
about it at some
about
point, but it needs a
Yeah.
lot more because there's a lot in that one. 4 years later, in St. Louis, Missouri, USA, the third modern Olympics Games were held and they almost ruined them forever. First of all, St. Louis was not the destination for the third Olympics.
No shit.
It was Chicago, actually.
Fuck.
I like the no shit. You're like, there's no way.
No fucking way.
Missouri?
I mean, back
St.
then,
Louis, Missouri.
It's not that big now. Like, who the fuck's going there back then?
Chicago was a good destination. Now,
Yeah. That's what it was. Back then, Chicago was actually really well regarded. But the more popular event we all know and love, the World Fair, was happening in St. Louis.
You guys gotta coordinate better. What the fuck? Like, stop.
Well, see, the World Fair was going on at the same time that they were going to do the Olympics in Chicago. St. Louis was a lot more richer because there was a lot more business going on there, and they were a lot more greedy in its approach. So they contacted the Olympics committee and they told them that they were going to create their own sporting event over there if they refused to put the Olympics in St. Louis. So they were basically like they
like the hostage situation.
yeah, like they were like brute forcing them to be like, hey, we're doing this whole World Fair.
Leverage.
Yes, because they were like, oh, you're gonna do it in Chicago. It's like, well, at a World Fair already, where people are willing to go at, we're gonna also do our sporting events there too. So you're really gonna be fucked if the Olympics are going to have to Chicago, because nobody's going to go. They're going to go to the World Fair. Yeah, and if the right to host the Olympics weren't transferred to them, they would surely eclipse the entire Olympic Games. Fearful to repeat the same tepid interest of the previous games, Coubertin capitulated and moved them to St. Louis. But the IOC, which is the Olympics Committee, weren't too pleased with the decision and would later come to regret it. They had to transfer the Olympic Games because they were way too afraid that it was going to get like a lack of interest again. So they're like, fuck it, we'll give it to St. Louis.
This year, Belgium brought a backflipping dog.
But though
Should have done it a month before.
to put it into context too, back then people didn't travel as much as now. So if someone's going to Missouri, not going to go to Missouri and then Chicago. Like it's like we're doing a 1 week travel destination.
Yeah.
It's this place. We're going to see that place
Yeah.
and then go back home.
Yeah, it's like boat rides that would take you fucking a crazy amount of time
Yeah.
too. Or like other people didn't have boats, didn't have money for boats, so
Yeah,
they
this
was
is before
hitchhiking
planes,
shit.
yo.
Yeah, like
I didn't even
you
think
had
about
to
that.
find
Yeah,
your
exactly.
way there somehow. 12 countries only participated at these games because, you know, logistically, like Nick, you exactly said, nobody really wanted to foot the bill to go all the way to America because it was not only them. You had your coaches to go through. You had people coming in. Like if you were alone, it's like, shit, am I really going to do all of this again for an Olympics games that is not really popular? That if you only knew the Greek, like the Greeks, that's how you knew.
It's
like
not like
it was big.
back then you probably didn't get sponsors and all this shit. It's not TV
There was no
spots.
sponsors.
No.
Yeah.
There was nobody. Nobody cared. The World Fair was way bigger. Yeah. So there were like 80% Americans, 15% Canadians, and the rest were kind of like of different countries and everything.
So
Out
Canada
of the 12
fucking swept the floor.
No, Americans did because there were 80% of them
Yeah, they were in
participating in
America.
it
They were also 80% black.
at the time.
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh, now, yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
The time they were
yet.
setting up the games, John.
1904, sir.
Not yet. Yeah, so it was Austria, Canada, Cuba, France, Germany.
Cuba?
I know. Cuba.
Fuck.
Well, I mean, you know,
It's 1904.
it's the States.
They're cool.
It's the States, yeah.
They're still cool.
Germany, Great Britain, Greece, Hungary, South Africa, Switzerland, and obviously the United States.
Damn, this is the much more diverse.
Yeah, this one's a little
Yes.
more diverse.
This
This was
is-
a Disney casting.
This is funny because it's the most diverse and also simultaneously the most racist as well. Again, this gave the same problem, if not worse, of not having enough participants. So just about any athlete off the streets or curious passerbys could join in on the event for fun because there were so little people.
Homeless Jimmy just pulled up with the fucking strap.
You know, mine I can run
That
real
shooting
fast.
competition was unfair.
So again, I really like the idea of just walking by one day. They're doing like this event and they're just like, fuck, there's not enough on our team. Yo, you wanna join? It's like, what nationality are you? It's like, I'm like French. It's like, yeah, come on in.
That's fine.
You'll
That
be
one
with the,
drunk
you'll
dude
be
that
with the
stumbles out of the
States.
bar,
Just
walks into
don't
the wrong
speak.
room. He stumbles out of the bar, gets like walks into the wrong room, and then they just like they put on a t-shirt, they slap him on the ass, they say go,
Go.
and now he has to fucking learn how to play water polo.
And he kills it.
But a lot of teams, even in the 1900 one, there were teams that won, but then some of these teams had like people that weren't of the nationality, didn't even speak the same language, and were picked up that day. So like they have like a gold medal on them, being like, "Yeah, I was with the States at like for 2
They were
seconds."
pissed about that 10-year-old. That was
No,
not
they
from
love
that
that
team.
10-year-old.
That was not from that team, and now they're like, you know what? Now we can do the same fucking thing.
We'll take a 5-year-old next time.
And they're like, apparently, if we get those randoms, we win. So.
I love the idea of a Cuban like getting gold medal for Hungary. It's like, wait a second, this doesn't fit.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
So there was pretty funny additions of the sports in this one too. Like tug of war still kept on, so
Nice.
that's great. There was also freestyle wrestling, to which
Oh,
I'm not
I was
exactly
not
understanding.
expecting wrestling. I thought you were going to say freestyle rap. I'm like, oh my God. Again, dominating before black people could participate.
Just
Well,
a bunch of lyrical, miracle, spiritual freestyle wrestling. What is it? Because I don't fully
just
understand.
WWE?
Is it just like a
Like think wrestling. Think of the wrestling you know now.
WWE.
No.
I'm kidding.
The actual
I know.
wrestling.
I know.
Oh, so you mean wrestling?
You're on your knees.
You're naked.
There's a man bent over and you have to flip him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the type of wrestling I like to watch. Continue. No,
Tell me I'm wrong.
But
No,
like
you're actually right. They're on their
The
knees.
generic wrestling and all the rules you would know nowadays is freestyle wrestling. Like
Oh, okay.
then there's like subgenres. Yeah.
So
Would
that
judo
one where
be
they
a-
hit the guy
No.
with
No,
the with
judo's
the,
really
martial art.
different.
so that one where they hit where they break a bunch of fluorescent lights on a guy.
That's not freestyle.
Oh, okay.
The one where they pile drive them.
where they
It's
pile
not
drive
pile
them into like thumbtacks.
Oh,
No, because like
that's
those would
acting.
kill people, right? Like if it wasn't
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
acting, those would kill people.
You'd fuck somebody's neck. And
Yeah,
everything,
like you'd kill people if
No,
you did
exactly.
this.
That's
Okay,
all. That's all
why.
choreographed.
That makes sense. Why they can't be real.
You can't do that in any sport.
Yeah, you'd kill somebody.
Yeah.
So as an example, there was a guy called Frank Kugler. He won 4 medals in freestyle wrestling, weightlifting, and
Wesley.
Wesley, and wrestling, weightlifting, and tug of war.
So they took the strongest man and they put him in.
He just did everything.
Because again, there was not much people. So if that guy was still up and at it, and they're like, "Yeah, we need one more guy to do this," he's like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'll go in." So like he had like 4 medals from different competitions.
He strikes me as the type with the one strap leotard
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the twirly mustache,
Very much
bald.
so. They have like a little metal pin there, and they're like,
He's curling
really
those
cute.
like ball weights.
He just had a pilsner between sets and just fucking went
yeah.
for it.
The same guy doing weightlifting is playing golf.
yeah, like Popeyes type of like muscles too.
You're like, who the fuck brought this giant?
He had that special spinach in him.
He was the only competitor to win a medal in 3 different sports at the same Olympic Games. So that guy at the time probably didn't even know like he did like a thing that could never be replicated afterward. He's like the only one that could ever do
To
it.
have ever done it ever.
Only
Ever.
because it's not allowed.
Well, like now, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Most of the time, it's like, well, now, yeah, there's regulations. Now you can't do it. But there was the last edition, which is really funny. It's called Plunge for Distance, and it's basically
Oh,
you
baby,
have
I
to
plunge for distance every day.
basically you have to like plunge in a body of water and like see how far down you
Yeah.
can go.
Yeah.
But that's like the game you all played as a child and be like, how far down can you go and stay there?
That must have been the most boring sport to watch because you just
It's-
watch somebody
No.
watch
That
somebody
is true.
sink, but there's no cameras to follow him or anything.
That's
so you're
true.
just waiting for him to come back up.
That's
You
true.
don't
How
know-
do you track that? Does he just tell you? Is it a honor code?
I
Like,
didn't
he's
even.
just-
They
There's
just
just
said
one
for
guy with a
fun-
fucking
just a
submarine
joke.
helmet.
Though,
and stuff.
I've seen a movie about this though. It's more modern,
Mm.
but like they literally like so nowadays it's still a thing.
What?
Not in the Olympics, plunge for distance.
Oh yeah, it's still going on. I'm guessing in
He's
more smaller
plunging for
They,
competitions.
distance.
they go in the water and swim down as far as they can,
Mhm.
and like there's people with like scuba equipment like there.
Oh yeah, and there. Oh yeah.
And so you go down and you have this little belt thing so that when you go back up you just click your belt and it goes up.
and the buoyancy.
And
roll.
so this is you're not scuba diving, right? So you're not actually taking air; it's your own air, and so there's not the contraction in like the blood. How do you call that? Like
What, like the pressure.
there's no
of the water?
bubbles that form in your blood.
Depressurization.
Oh, okay.
Yes, there's no
Okay,
need for
cool.
depressurization because you never pressurized to begin with.
Cool.
So you go down as far, and some people go like I don't know the record, but I want to say something like 80 meters, 100 meters,
Holy
some
shit.
shit. Like people go really fucking far.
Oh shit.
But so yeah, it's a pretty intense sport when you.
You know what? Maybe
get
what
down to
they
it.
do is they put flags. Maybe you got to
Yeah,
pull a
well,
flag.
there is
at a certain-
flags and distances.
Maybe that's how you
That's
do
true.
it.
But in this one, it seemed, again, it was like kind of like last minute additions. It seemed very babush, as in like they kind of just jump in and they're like, if that guy floats back up and he's like facing down, then I guess he was the one that stayed the longest. Like, right?
Well, they come back up to the surface and their eyes pop out, and whichever eye goes the furthest, that's the one who went the deepest.
Well,
So
even-
they probably did have like flags at different distances.
Yeah.
And
even
like,
back then, they had like somewhat of a scuba gear. They just had that big fucking metal helmet.
No, honestly, no. Like, because there was some of the pictures I saw, it was mostly just like them.
no, but I mean the people that go inside to install the equipment.
The reason why I don't
an
think
honor
so
system?
is, again, it was really poorly organized.
It could have
so
been
I
a rope,
barely.
guys.
Oh, it could have been a
with
rope.
an anchor and like the things are attached to
That's
it.
true.
Yeah,
It could have been
probably.
Yeah,
that
you don't
too.
have to fucking swim that far.
And that back then, like, it was probably 20 meters, and people are like, "Whoa,
Whoa. Whoa. But
who's
yes,
ever gone this far down?"
we never farted.
Who
Say,
knew the Cubans can swim?
Jesus.
Oh, they can.
They can.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
Those motherfuckers swim.
What a surprise comeback from the Cubans.
Did I say that the women were part of the Olympics since the 1900s ones?
Yes,
I
you did.
mentioned that, yeah.
We made a big deal about it.
And then
Well,
I was holding back a joke, but
Were
Nick
they not
stole it.
allowed in this one?
no, technically they still were.
Technically.
Technically they still
That's
were.
a
And we
nice word.
love the word technically because
They were allowed, but just they stayed in the kitchen by
They
choice.
they were allowed, but they were allowed to only one event in this one.
And it was the sweeping competition.
It's called curling, and a lot of Canadians do it.
That's true. Yeah,
A
that's
lot
our
of it,
national
actually.
pride. They were allowed, and it was just one event, and it was archery. The thing is,
Why do they keep giving them bows, man?
I don't fucking know. I don't know why archery
They are so
specifically.
pent up, just fucking fuck you, fuck you, Todd.
Fuck
I will
you,
not
Todd.
take care of your kid.
You told me my coffee was shit this morning because I didn't use Maxwell House.
Fuck Maxwell House.
These Folgers. But but the thing is, for the archery one, it was funny because out of the 6 women that competed, 5 of them were part of the same club in Cincinnati, like the same club of archery.
Oh my god, they were all American?
One archery club.
All
That's
American.
fucking unfair.
Just one girl that wasn't a part of that club.
They all
And they
saw fucking
competed.
Amanda pull up and they're like, oh, nah, man.
We kicked her out.
They're
Now
like,
she's
God
back.
damn it. I thought she was going to be sick. We're at the fucking World Fair.
So yeah, like it was just basically 5 against 1.
So the other men of the other country never sent their wives?
No, I guess our wives weren't interested. Their wives, they're like,
They'd rather
They
bring
didn't sign their wife's permission slip.
They'd rather bring the coach that they're sleeping with.
you you know what's kind of funny about this is that there was a lot of demonstration sports at the time too.
Oh my god.
Like boxing, because boxing wasn't considered to be an Olympic sport, but for the boxing for demonstration, the women were actually allowed to box there.
Oh, damn.
So
Hell
like
yeah.
there was
Yeah.
that, and I was just like,
Tight underwear and fighting each other.
I don't know why they were just like, I don't know if they were thinking about like testing it out or something, but it was just funny that they were like, no, you only do archery. By the way, you girls can fight though. Like,
Yeah.
It's fine. It's not going to be taken seriously, but you can fight.
You know, though, back
You'll show
then,
it.
back
That shit was
then
hot.
everyone fought. Like I
Probably,
was,
yeah.
the people I used to work for, their grandfather was like a local champion, but they call it tough man.
The tough man. Yeah,
champion.
that I heard.
Where like he would run to work. He was a bricklayer and he'd run to work in his boots. And that was basically his training.
I love
running to work with his boots and like fighting people in bars.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is this? Like some fucking video game where it's like, go to the bar next to the 5th Street
No,
and
like
that's
almost-
your next
You know, I mean, you
opponent.
probably hit it back from time to time, but like, you know.
That
No,
was
you
the
don't hit a
times,
bag,
man.
you hit your wife.
The female,
crazy.
the woman champion was probably like a bartender.
Oh, honestly,
Like
I
Large
believe
Marge.
that. I believe that.
She's got the fucking
Large Marge in charge.
Yeah, because she's like, she's a great gal and she takes care of everybody when you go to her pub. But you step out of line, Large Marge is
will
throwing you
fuck
out
you up.
herself. she throws them out. And then just
She does like the Phil from. She does like Uncle Phil throw out from.
Yeah.
that was a visual gag. You're not gonna see it, but imagine the most old timey throwing somebody out of a bar and
Now you
Just
come
look
back
up
their hands
Fresh
and-
Prince of
Yeah,
Bel Air,
yeah,
Phil throwing
exactly,
DJ.
yeah.
exactly.
You
DJ
come
Bro.
back when you learn some manners there, boy.
yeah.
It was always the
Oh, but that's funny. But yeah, they were allowed to only do it for the demonstration sport, which is interesting because it was the more physical one that they weren't really allowing them to do beforehand. But I guess because it wasn't part of
It
the
wasn't as
Olympics, more
classy.
yeah, I
Class
guess.
was a big thing back in the day, I think.
That is true, but at the same time, not really. It's a lot of semblance of class. It's a lot of like, okay, well, you have to be dressed like this and this. But if somebody didn't want to do it, they did not want to do it, and
but
you
this
were
was
not
also
going to
the
force
time
them.
where this is also a time where boxing was still just like fisticuffs. Yeah.
nah, but like when
I like this a lot.
Yeah.
when
So
Albert
funny.
was running with that top hat,
Exactly.
he got all the gold medals
Top
because he was a classy gal.
I would use that top hat in the fight, though. I think I'd like kind of throw it and just like throw it.
I would do it just
fight
so I have a
dirty.
reason to do that.
Could you please hold my hat?
Hold my hat.
Hold
youngster.
my head there,
Back.
boy.
Yeah.
Where did this rabbit come from?
You do a whole magic show.
Where did this rabbit come from? And then you fucking just knock it.
But for these 1904 games, these games were considered the worst of all times. Considering the Nazi games, I always wondered why. Well, they might have been more similar in rhetoric to the Nazi games than we might think. Because again, at the same time, there was the World Fair, and at the World Fair, they brought in the anthropology days, or lovingly called by the organizers at the time, the human zoos.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I'll say
That's why South Africa was invited.
Uh,
no, because there was a lot of white people in
Apartheid.
There's a lot of white
Now for our PR
apartheid.
campaign, so that everybody shows up to the Olympics.
Half of because of that too.
So that everybody shows up to the Olympics. We're gonna call them human zoos.
Exactly. I'll cite Wikipedia's explanation of it. Since the 1889 Paris Exposition, because Paris also did that, so that's why it's like it's not just St.
Fuck the
Louis that did that.
French. Yeah.
The French did it. Like almost anybody with a World Fair had these kind of P.T. Barnum type of look at these races, these people type of exposition. As key feature of World Fairs, function as a demonstration of anthropological notions of race, progress, and civilization. These goals were followed also at the 1904 World's Fair. 1,400 indigenous people from Southeast Asia, the Pacific Islands, East Asia, Africa, the Middle East, South America, and North America.
But these people
That
weren't
explains
like
all the
slaves.
problems.
Like they went back home after.
no, some of them were slaves. Yeah,
No.
a lot of them were slaves.
Mm.
I remember some stories that are pretty fucked up, actually.
It's a lot of slaves. It's a lot of like freed slave that had the whole 12 years of slave type of deal happen where they were freed, but then just got brought back in because like another part of the country didn't get the memo that free slaves were a thing. So it's a lot of that.
Somebody put out some fucking some jujubes, made a trail. And then there was a box with a stick in the alleyway.
Fuck
Ah, not again.
Jesus Christ.
Damn
Fuck
it.
it all again. I got tricked again.
God
Fuck.
damn it.
Juju beans.
He's like, I'll take you where you need to go. Just gotta get on my boat.
Get on my boat.
And you're like, I don't know.
I don't
It's
know.
not
I
something we
remember
like
this.
last time.
I remember this. So yeah, another 1,600 indigenous people displayed their culture in other areas of the Louisiana. It's funny how they say displayed their culture in other areas of Louisiana Purchase Exposition.
Would have displayed for culture.
Including on the fairgrounds and at the Model School, where American Indian boarding schools student demonstrating their successful assimilation.
Oh god.
Yes, that's what I mean. It's like a lot of like, yeah, look how we've tamed the savages. The sporting event itself took place with the participant. Again, it's really generous how they're saying this, with the participation of about 100 paid indigenous men, which paid, I don't know what that entails to
Bartered with?
like
You were fed in the house.
no
They
women.
all split a pearl necklace.
Yeah, that's what they wanted.
And a couple beers.
And a couple. Jesus.
They
No.
got $1 each.
Not $1, not at that
No.
time.
No,
They
a
had
couple
like
cents.
a quarter of a cent.
Couple cents, pal.
No women participated in anthropology days, though some, notably the Fort Shaw
Because
Indian
they're not
schoolgirls,
humans, guys.
notably the Fort Shaw Indian schoolgirls basketball team did compete in other athletic events. I'm shocked that they had a basketball team. That they were allowed
Didn't
to.
let the
There's a lot
American
of that.
Indians compete in the bow competition? It's kind of unfair.
It would be part of.
I
Saying
think they
unfair
should be
advantage.
allowed. I think that's where you go recruit them.
Because they're Americans, right?
I think there's a lot of work in not letting them see bows their entire life.
So the whole point also of this, because it
You
was
can't
kind
carry
of
a
brought,
weapon around.
it was also brought a bit for the Olympics, because later on I'll talk a little bit about it, but there was a guy that was, a lot of them brought this kind of like human zoo thing to also be like, well, look how stronger we are. Like, we're like
Yeah.
the superior race in strength.
That's
in
what.
that
Wait.
too.
So did they mean it as in like they brought? I don't know. Let's say the African people like or black guys and be like, look how strong we are because we captured them, or was it like putting them on display as athletes to be like, look how-
There were some that were brought in to be like kind of like last minute athletes, but the thing is like to be like, we're winning over them, like see how strong we are, but like let's not forget that they brought like maybe like 2 black guys, like 3 Indians, like you know what I mean? Like they brought like a really small percentage that probably, you know, wasn't really well fed, didn't want to be here.
Football.
Yeah, like never played, like did not want to be here. And it was like the extent of like, haha, see, we did it. And you're like, dude, there was like 3 people you brought it and none of them wanted to be here. And if they won, what would be the consequence?
But the natives as their own country, and it's just like they're like old America, and then the US is just new America.
They're like, whatever this is. But yeah, so according to the theorist Susan Brownell, world fairs with the inclusion of human zoos and the Olympics were a logical fit at the time, as they were both linked to the underlying cultural logic that gave them a natural affinity. So it was like very much of like, oh, like again, like I said, the comparison, we were better than we, not the royal we, but them we were better than them. So that was going on at the same time. So you had like this really racist display going on. That's why I'm like, okay, now I see why some people, now why it's considered a pretty bad Olympics game.
At least when the
energy into the games after.
I mean, when the Nazis did it, was basically just like, look how amazing we are.
Yeah.
You know, and like literally just put a bunch of white dudes to do their shit.
It's not like a full-on human zoo. There is so much craziness that happened in the Summer Games of 1904, but I must confess that the reason I wanted to even talk about the Olympics in general, say for the topical nature of it, is my favorite event of the 1904 St. Louis Olympic Games. It encompasses the entire incompetence of the games, the hilarious and albeit quite dangerous nature of it as well. It's so absurd that I'm convinced that it could be made in a Wes Anderson film. In fact, I've expressed that I would love making a movie about it, and it's the 1904 Olympic Marathon at the time, because the one was a doozy. There's a game I want you guys to play. And I'll tell you a little bit more after, but I'm going to set the scenery. It is August 1904. It's a boiling 90 degrees.
It's our birthdays.
The sound of fanfare was high as the World Fair was raging through the streets of St. Louis. But that is not where the attention lies. A bit further on, a stadium track. 32 men, mostly dressed in white, other in casual wear, were standing side to side, waiting. A race was about to begin. This 24.85 miles marathon, to be more specific, was going to start with 5 laps around the stadium tracks.
Guys, there's a lot of math
Don't know
here,
if you
guys.
can
Are
see.
you guys okay?
It's not really crazy math,
Are
don't
you
worry.
guys okay? It's almost like 15 cats, but a bit harder.
5 laps around the stadium tract. It's about 1 2/3 of a mile. As they would exit the stadium, the road for our runners would continue on dusty country roads where sand and misshapen rocks populated its surface. But that's not all. As an extra little challenge, numerous hills of 100 to 300 feet high were part of the race as well.
Holy shit. It's like doing a race in Portugal.
Oh my god.
Hopefully, they knew how to hike. For the remaining 20 miles, they would have to fight for space on the populated streets of St. Louis, where bikers and drivers had no idea, or maybe even not care to make space for our contestants to run on the road.
Wow, this is before they blocked off roads.
They would finish the race by making their way back to the stadium for the coveted gold medal. For the 32 runners, anticipation was in the air, a bit of nervousness too, but they were confident, weren't they? Well, they wouldn't know at the moment, but only 14 of them would end up finishing the race.
Oh.
And honestly, they had no idea what was awaiting them.
There wasn't no like preparation like back then. It's just like it was a lot of like show ups, you know?
I think the way they described it is that they went more by feel than by logistics. They literally said like they were feeling it out. They were like, that's like 24 miles.
Meanwhile, they were like,
oh, so they didn't even know how long it was.
They had estimated some stuff, but like there wasn't too much of a strict regulation on how long this marathon was for it. They wanted to be over 20 miles, but they were just like,
They biked it. They were like, this feels
Don't
right.
forget, it was not supposed to be in St. Louis.
Yeah, no, exactly.
They had nothing prepared for this.
Oh no.
So, let us play a little game. There are 5 contestants that I have selected because of pertinence, interesting / fun facts about them, and also because they have the most information on them. This was 1904. It was a bit harder to get
People
information.
lied.
A lot of fake news.
Lies
yeah.
or people literally just disappear. Like after this, they went somewhere else and you never knew who they were
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
obviously
They went back to their
connect-
job.
Good old days.
Delhi.
You could disappear.
You could just literally disappear. Nobody knew if you were alive or dead.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Out of these 5 runners, I'll give you guys the numbers they finished at and one that had a dubious finish to the race. I'll let that at your discretion to find out what that means.
I appreciate it.
Dubious.
Dubious finish. Obviously, I won't tell you which ending is connected to what runner, like which ranking is connected to one runner. That's going to be the game. You guys are going to have to find out which one.
One of them was in a wheelchair every time there was a downhill.
That's cheating.
So you'll have to deduce that for yourself and pick what rankings they all had. I also wanted you guys to guess what happens to each runner during the race. For that, you guys can guess however you want, as in like, because something happens to each and one of them, except for one. And I just want you guys to just be like, this happened. Or like, just make it up out as you will. I will tell you there's no aliens that came in. Like, it's nothing extraterrestrial. Like, it's just...
Or the CIA covered it up.
This is Len Taunyan.
Sexy.
Taunyan. I'm hoping I can say this pretty well.
Tonyane.
Taunyan. Yeah, Taunyan.
Taunyan.
That sounds, yeah. And next slide real quick, just because they're a bit of a pair. And Jean Masciani or Jan Masciani.
He looks like he does not want to be there. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm just bringing my brother.
They were the first ever Africans to compete in the Olympics. This would have been fun news, lest we forget that this was the really racist Olympic. So the whole point of having different ethnicities was to try to showcase their physical inferiority, or again used as zoo animals.
Dude, I got a spark of fear.
One of the 2 people to actually finish the race, though.
The two first black Olympians in Missouri.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Clearly one of them got
Africans
shot.
too, so they don't even know the racism of that place
Oh
either.
my god.
So they're just like,
So 2 war veterans and message runners.
Yep, I'll tell you more about that. They were veterans from the Boer War, the South African War against the British, like
very
the
boring.
British, like the Boer.
So they were fighting the British.
They were kind of like, because it was the Dutch colonies versus the British that was invading the like it wasn't even, it was like South Africans, like the natives there fighting, but then the Dutch were there too fighting for their colony of this versus the British. Like it's more like a colonies type
It's a
of
fucking
fight.
3-way.
And they were kind of put in
we call that a 3-bean salad.
3-bean salad. 3-way 3-bean salad to
Yeah.
describe the Boers. Okay. These 2 veterans were the message runners for the Boers. They were there at the World Fair originally to be part of the exhibition that reenacted the battles. Dressed in casual clothes, Jan Masciani had boots on while Len Taunyan didn't. So like one was barefooted. He had shoes on. Len did not have shoes on.
Oh my god.
And regular ass clothes.
I thought it would be
In
the
regular
opposite.
ass
I mean,
clothes.
that's a sick fit.
Yeah, like with a hat too. He's like,
Love
hell
it.
yeah.
He's wearing it well.
It's unfortunate we don't have much more information on these men, as their lives seem pretty like crazy. Like imagine you come back from the war and they're like, yo, you want to like reenact battles at this guy? Actually, at the same time, do you want to show us that we're superior of a race than you? Like a race.
So this is
real
on
quick.
this is on what the Netherlands behalf
They were,
or
I think
on-
they were kind of on nobody's behalf.
or South Africa or I don't
Not
know,
even.
maybe
It
not.
was
Okay.
a bit more because like they were reenacting it because like they were with the Boers, which is like the British,
Okay.
but then they were reenacting it. So I think they were for the British, but the British were really gonna
They,
put
they
them
weren't
on.
supposed to be winning no medals.
Exactly. It was more like we'll put some black folks in. this.
Okay. Yeah.
Like they're in here,
Some
might as well.
Diversity.
I don't know if I call diversity, but sure. Next contestant.
Oh, he's sassy.
Thomas
Thomas
Hicks.
Hicks.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
He's an American that made his money as a professional clown, wandering from town to town for his vocation.
He sounds like just his name sounds like he's the most racist.
racist.
certified
Somebody
racist.
who races.
Yeah. I stopped myself from putting jokes like this.
Professional
in this.
clown, though. What a sad
I
guy.
don't even understand that one for the
Professional though.
like as an
Yeah,
American
we're amateur
too.
clowns. Can't be talking shit.
So yes, like he was no stranger to racing as he'd participated in the Boston marathons, which I was shocked that they were already starting from early on.
Well, running is free.
Yeah, but I didn't know the marathons were this early on. I thought it was more maybe in the 50s. Again, I feel like I think everything started in the 40s, 50s. Like,
Yeah.
anything earlier than that, I'm like, they weren't moving. They didn't do
I
shit.
thought there was a big bombing problem in those marathons.
Not
Later
yet.
on.
Not yet.
They didn't have the tools yet.
Ah, shucks.
They didn't have the enemies either.
Ah.
They
So
can take the gold medal in mass murder now.
So yeah, he participated in the Boston marathons prior to this, and he was second in the Boston marathon. So
Nice.
keep that in mind.
Solid. Could have gotten the first guy, but whatever.
But he's a professional clown. Makes a living out of making a joke of himself.
Fred Lords.
I knew you were gonna love him.
He kind of
Nick
looks like
Nicola.
Nick.
He is Nick.
No, he doesn't.
He's a bricklayer too.
He's got that nose.
He's actually Nick.
He's Nick.
He
That's
actually
right.
has my mouth.
Except he can.
He does have the nose in the mouth.
Fred Lords was an American who was a bricklayer by trade. He was more muscular than the other contestants and had been in the top 5 of the Boston Marathon runners as well.
Now they didn't. When they said the most muscular, they didn't talk about the two black guys before because they were way muscular than him.
Yeah, they don't
That
talk.
was a muscular.
That was
man
muscular
in
man.
that time.
That was a muscular. Yeah, because I kept looking. It's hard to get pictures of that
There's
time.
no food,
Yeah.
and food sucked.
There's no pictures, but like the fact that they keep saying, like everywhere that I've looked, there's a lot of articles that I looked, I put them in the document that I looked, and they kept saying he was more muscular than the others, and I'm like, really? Like,
Where?
I mean, the others did
Maybe
look
his
skinny.
calves are fucking huge. Maybe he's got a thick ass and everything.
The first black
He's a
guy.
took a
sleeper
picture.
build. Yeah.
But they said like he had like the musculature for like more
For running.
no, like for runners, but like I don't remember like what type of running, but like a different type of running. But they
Okay.
did said it was like musculature known for runners. So it wasn't
Oh.
like swimmers or something. Like they weren't trying to make it as if he
Yeah.
lifted crazy weights. So
Endurance
I was like,
runner.
okay.
Maybe. Yeah. Or long distance. Or yeah. Okay.
Next slide.
Ooh.
Oh, he
Oh,
wins.
see, this is what I expected to see.
He wins.
He's got the twirly mustache, and his head is shaped really weird.
hitchhiking his way through America,
like-
and then he just appeared in the fucking
He looks like
Olympics.
one of the Martians from Mars Attacks.
This man has stabbed someone. For sure.
Felix Carvajal. Carvajal?
Carvajal.
Carvajal. Okay.
Carvajal.
Carvajal is a Cuban mailman that had
Yeah.
gambled away all his funds on his way to America.
Oh hell yeah! These are the stories. These are the ones we're after, man. This is what they should do.
Honestly, that should be the new Olympics.
Fuck these, yeah,
You
like
need to
literally
bring
fuck these stories
random
where it's like,
fuckers.
oh, he grew up in a poor little village, and all his life he hoped that he could make it to the Olympics and win for his mom who's dying and all that. Nah, fuck this. Just make it a guy who like I gambled everything I had.
That's one of those
my
fucking
house,
speeches
everything.
in
I
in
got
the
nothing.
Olympics this year. That's one of the things that really pissed me off is that every fucking speech is I'm doing this for somebody that's in the hospital. I'm doing this for somebody that.
But like maybe
I'm
they
like,
are.
I'm like, fucking stop singing your quiet little fiddle. Like,
Well, if a lot of these athletes stop beating the shit out of their families so they would end up in the hospital right in time for the Olympics, we wouldn't have this problem.
no
It keeps occurring.
problems.
Oh my god.
Steroids is a problem.
It's like what happened? Oh, I won this so I could support my heroin addiction. You know, like what happened to the good old ones?
The good old ones.
I have to pay off the mob boss.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't get
exactly.
paid that much, depending on which country.
The mob
It's
was
not
gonna
much
break my
money.
legs. if I
Decent
didn't
money.
win this
Kazakhstan gives you apartments.
Who?
Kazakhstan
Holy
gives you an
shit.
apartment. You get a
Actually-
1-bedroom apartment if you get a bronze, 2-bedroom if it's silver, and then a 3-bedroom apartment if it's
Yo, that's
But
sick.
you don't get fuck all if
Oh,
you
and the
don't win.
Filipinos,
Yeah.
Philippines give you a house.
Philippines, yes, I did
They
hear.
give you a house with a plot of land.
They give you a house with
It's pretty good.
plot of land.
It's in the ghetto, but hey.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a
I
fuck.
got
It's
a
a house.
I have property.
I'll take a house on the
And if you
fucking
lose in
hill.
China, they look at you with disappointment and they said you could have done better.
Are you kidding? In China, it's a lot worse. I feel like it's a lot. It'd be a lot
You
worse.
never hear about you.
Disappear.
You never hear about the people who lost. They disappear.
That's what
Who else do we got?
Sam Meller, an American who had won the Boston Marathons and
shit.
Pan American. He had been one of the favorites to win that day.
He gets shot.
So these
That was too funny. I think you were right.
these are our 6 contestants that we have.
Okay, cool.
So there is first place,
I know who it is.
dubious finish, 12th place, 9th place, 4th place, and 1 did not finish. So I want to hear from each and every one of you.
Oh, this is spicy.
Who do you think goes for these? I'll repeat them again so that you guys know. So I'll just
I
put.
just want to say, fuck all that.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I know the answers
Bold
of this
stand.
shit.
Bricklayer's first place for sure.
You're saying bricklayers first place?
Thick thighs.
Thick
Give me a
thighs,
second.
baby.
She's writing it
Squatting on
down.
those
Write that
bricks.
shit down.
Yep.
I'm writing
It was
all
the
of
first
this
place,
down.
second place.
Bricklayers. So Lords.
We have to write this down.
Okay, and I have to put that in parentheses. Nick. So I'm just gonna put it in. All right. So you're
Sam-
saying first place.
Sam Meller does not finish. He gets shot.
He gets shot. So you think, like, because I'm gonna add the second part too of that, where I'm gonna ask you, like, what do you think that, like, because something bad happened to each of them,
I thought it was just.
but it's
Oh,
later
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But it's gonna be
yeah.
later on. But you're
What do you-
saying he did not finish
Did not finish.
him.
Him.
Do you want? Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to cycle back through the beginning and see the people?
Yeah,
one
yeah,
by one?
yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody
Okay,
can.
So
let's
see
everybody
it.
he mentions is
Sam.
So we
I'm
got
gonna
Len
put N again.
Tanyane first. What are we rank? What are the rankings available?
So first place, dubious finish. 12th place, 9th place, 4th place did not finish.
I'm gonna give Len Tanyane a 4th place.
4th place.
Yeah.
Does Nick finish
Okay.
all his 5 or just
No. I'm going to give him 12.
12th? Okay.
Okay.
First, you said 4th place for
He's
Len?
the one barefoot, right?
Yes.
He's
Len.
barefoot. Yeah.
And we're going
No, I think he's gonna be really good, but barefoot. problem.
There we go. And you're saying he's 12th.
I'm saying Len is first place
First place? Okay.
because they added the dubious finish, which means they don't want to give him the win.
What is he
Oh,
dubious
interesting.
finish?
Ooh, first place is
Interesting.
dubious as well.
Is
Interesting.
dubious saying like he probably did something
Interesting.
malicious
wait,
because
wait,
he's
wait.
not-
I told
You're
you guys
saying-
I wasn't gonna explain what dubious finish
Yeah.
means, so it's up to you to interpret
So the first
what
place
that
is a dubious finish.
Yes. Well, I don't know.
That sounds like me. Sounds like a bricklayer.
Okay.
So on.
No.
You have this.
Now, what were the other?
I'm gonna
rankings?
say Len got chased by the Ku Klux Klan.
Just chased by the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, they came in.
You're saying it's the Ku Klux Klan? Okay.
I feel like one of them had mob ties.
Who had mob ties?
I feel like one of them had mob ties.
Yes.
That's why he won.
We'll go up to all of you have for Len.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
I
put
said
it.
Len first.
Len
First
first.
I said fourth.
Len fourth.
12th.
12th. Perfect. So
Jan Mashiani,
For Jan.
the war veteran, message runner. I want to say first.
first. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted to tell you guys too. This is where we can have it before. We don't need to. I'm not gonna write all that down because that's gonna be really
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
But for like bonus points, I just wanted you guys to know that each and every one of them, except for one, had something happen during the race to them that really could have completely fucked their race up entirely. Well,
Okay.
one of them it did. Like, and I want you to guys to like find out what, or like throw out whatever, like you guys were saying, it's like either gambling stuff or whatever. So for Len, what do you think might have happened or didn't happen?
I thought I think he won. So
I think.
Oh,
the,
yeah, you
I
think he
think the
won.
Klan tried to scare him.
I think racism.
Racism?
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Maybe
That's
maybe
fair.
he ran down one neighborhood and they started throwing a bunch of shit at him.
Holy shit.
He's got too nice a hat.
Yeah.
For Jan,
I think similar fate.
same old fate.
Similar fate. I think people tried to maybe hold him back. Anything. I still want to bet that this guy pulled a rabbit in the Rabbit and the turtle, whatever, tortoise and the hare.
Oh,
and,
like type
and
of.
took a nap.
Where you
Okay.
finished it.
Took a nap, then kept running.
All right, that's a funny one. Continue.
Thomas Hicks, the clown.
He stabbed a hooker.
He
seems
During
like
the race,
He seems like a hooker stabber,
kind
yeah.
of guy.
like
Mostly because of the
he's a
professional
ShamWow
clown.
guy. He's just a ShamWow guy.
I feel like he got hurt in a freak accident.
Yeah.
Hurt in a freak accident. Don't forget, there's traffic. Huh? They're running in
Oh
traffic.
my God! Somebody got hit by a fucking car.
Thomas,
Somebody got
just
hit
saying.
by
Okay,
a
well,
fucking car.
That doesn't mean anything, but I am telling you,
I
they
retract
have to
my
run
statement.
through
He got hit by a clown car.
clown cars.
I just
Oh,
twisted
that's-
face.
like his friends?
That's organized. That's
No,
organized.
not
crime.
even
rival-
a
rival
hit.
clown
That's
gangs.
a rival clown.
Right.
When you're a
Rival clown
professional
gang.
clown, bro, there's some rival
Yeah,
clowns.
It's like
man.
GTA, but with clowns.
Those streets are tough.
It turns out he was a serial
Those
killer.
are big
because
shoes to fill.
That's a
That's true.
fucking
He
serial
looks
killer
like a
name.
serial killer,
He's a
though.
serial
He
killer
does.
name too.
Thomas Hicks.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have
I
all
can see that
three?
on a poster.
Fred Lors, the bricklayer.
What happened to Fred Lawrence?
I think he
Or
had
not?
diarrhea.
Diarrhea, full on.
I think nothing happens to him.
Nothing happens.
Couldn't lay a fat brick. Not enough fiber.
Not enough
I feel like there wasn't enough water on the course. Dehydration.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Yeah, why y'all hate me?
Heat stroke, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's a very
Felix
bricklayer thing.
Carvajal.
Hit by no.
I think he's the one who got hit by a fucking car.
he got hit by a car.
He got hit by a fucking
This
car.
makes sense.
He got hit by a car or a fucking a telephone pole fell on him, something like that.
I
He got the worst. I wanted to say he fell down a manhole. Like
I like how you guys are like gambling addict. That means everything went wrong.
Everything went wrong.
it's the vibe. He just looks like a target number one.
This
Like,
man does not live long for sure.
Oh my God.
there's the universe
funny.
has favoritism, and
That's
this
pretty
is
funny.
I'd say
the
he
universe
came.
hates this guy. I don't know.
He
I'm
came
just-
extremely unprepared, but
I don't
he
hate
still
him.
made it.
He seems okay, but I
He
just
ran-
think probably.
He ran in jeans and a belt.
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well, what else are you gonna run in? It's 1904.
Somebody came up and
Lululemon.
cut up his pants to make it shorts for him
Yeah.
to run. And like they were like, oh, we'll do it for you.
And there was born the Cuban's favorite attire, the short, the jorts.
So a hit by a car or a hit by something. An unfortunate series
or a
of
telephone
accidents.
pole. Yeah.
I say hit by a car by someone he owed money to.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. So type of okay. What about Sam Mellor?
See, they thought he was one of the black people and he shot him.
I don't know if he he looks dark in the picture, but he's not dark. I don't think he looked like it, but okay. We'll go for racial ambiguity.
I put him as did not finish, so I think he died on the course.
He died.
I want to say he got lost.
He got lost.
He has
Okay.
like shitty map reading abilities.
I mean, I will reiterate. This was also like just to give you back the idea of like the playing field again. If we could go back a bit on the map, they did have to do like the 5 laps here, and then go all around. But don't forget, these are dusty country roads.
Yeah.
Here are the hills. There's like some hills they have to go through.
Oh my god!
Wasn't well organized. So there might have been some places where
He was murdered by
it
a
looks
mountain
confusing, and then they'd have to go back.
Oh
That's the
my
most I'll
God.
give
Sam
you
Miller
guys.
got lost. Yeah.
So I'm just
He
saying.
got lost, or he got fucking killed by a mountain lion.
Mountain lion in St. Louis,
Missouri?
in Missouri.
I forgot where we were.
Farmville, dude.
Okay, my bad.
He got
Alright.
killed by cattle.
Well, thank you guys for participating. I'm
Thanks.
happy and
Yeah, it's
everything.
fun.
So what I'm gonna read now is I want to shout out this article, "The Unbelievable True Story of the Craziest Olympic Marathon" by Ashwin Rodriguez. They kind of have like it's like a runner's website, so they're big on it, and the way they did the retelling of like where everybody was and like the rankings on like how they were running is really well done. So that's what I wanted to read like to you guys, but I also wanted to shout it out and thank them for having such a good retelling. So in that
Thank you.
retelling, you guys are going to know
Gracias.
what happened to everybody.
Oh, by the way, as for everything with this episode, you will find the images in a visual companion. So if you want to see the players, the racers, and make your own guessing game, that'll be up in the description. So check that out. And we're probably going to post the video version of this guessing game on our Instagram, so you can follow up pretty well.
And guess yourself too if you haven't
Guess
read
yourselves
upon.
too, yeah.
Pause
Every
it
time-
and then
Every
guess,
time we
go.
are guessing, then the person take a time to pause and then try to make up your own in your head or write it down. And then if you can, leave it in the comments. We'll see it, and then it'll be hilarious. We'll talk about it on the next one.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
Do not be shy.
We're all just having fun
Talk
games.
to us.
Talk to us.
Talk
We're
to
here.
Talk to
We're
me.
here
Talk
for
to
you.
us.
We're not
Talk
famous
to
yet.
me.
We'll talk to you.
So in this retelling, I'm going to be saying the names of other runners. Again, I didn't put them in because it wasn't as fun.
Yeah.
But it's just to give you guys a sense of where everybody was
Yeah, no
and
worries.
everything. So Frank Pierce from the Seneca Nation, the first Native American to compete in the Olympics, there was some Native there, briefly took the front. Pierce was followed closely by fellow Americans Arthur Newton, Thomas Hicks, and Sam Miller. So in the top 4 right now, you have the Native American, there's another American, and you have the Thomas Hicks and Sam Miller. So that's how it starts. They take the front.
Okay.
As the men made the third lap, another American, Fred Lords, close behind, the race claimed its first casualty. The 1903 Boston champ Jordan Lorden, that was somebody I didn't put in, Irish-born, but running for the United States, began vomiting and walked off the track to register. The first did not finish.
Wow.
Oh shit.
That's crazy because he was the champion of the Boston runners too. But I will say, don't forget, it was also 90 degrees. So it's
Well,
crazy
Missouri.
hot.
It's
so that's like
Missouri.
Miss Lawchuck at the Olympics, vomiting after his swim.
Yep.
The guy from Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Striding onto the dirt roads beyond Francis Field, the runners were greeted by red flags marking the route. The man responsible for those flags, a little tidbit to add even more to the shit,
Because he fucked up royally.
He was one of the racers.
along with much of the 1904 St. Louis Olympics, was James E. Sullivan, head of the physical culture department for the World's Fair. He's a full-on dumbass racist. Sullivan also designed the race as an experiment to test his own exercise science theories. Chief amongst his belief was that of purposeful dehydration. You're on something there.
Oh no.
Because he insisted that drinking or eating during exercise would only upset the stomach. Accordingly, there was only one water station on the course
There we go.
near mile 12.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So
That's where I think the known good Boston marathonist was not ready for
They got fucked
the
up.
fucking test of endurance with water.
Oh,
which,
shit.
by the way, they did not know was being conducted. So they just went on
So
this race
So we were just like, I'm gonna do like science experiment.
in the
See,
middle.
that's why I'm going for the other guys, man. They're fucking war veterans and message runners during the war. You
Like,
know, goddamn, there's no water
they
stations.
didn't drink for days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, you know, there's some like marathons that like they have like water stations pretty often, but some people would skip the water, like the water tables, just to like get ahead.
Yeah,
so you don't have to stop. So imagine you skipped the only water
Well, I
station.
think at mile 12, you kind of realize.
Yeah, you kind of realize you need some
You're
fucking
like,
water.
Sons of bitches.
That's my thing, yeah. 3 miles in, Newton, who'd won bronze just a day before in the steeplechase, held 5th, the same in his finishing position in the 1900 Olympic marathon. Hicks, the professional clown, fell back to the 7th. So now he's in 7th place. And Albert Corey, a French-born U.S. representing marathoner who lived in Chicago and worked at the slaughterhouse, ran in 9th place. Trailing close behind were Len Tauniane and Jan Masciani. I keep saying Jan. I like saying Jan. Both running their first marathon. The 2 members of South Africa's Tswana tribe were the first Black Africans to compete in the Olympics.
Yeah, boy.
Leading the way out of the stadium was a vanguard of horsemen riding ahead of the racers to clear the dry dirt roads. Right behind them, a motorcade of journalists, doctors, support teams, and race officials followed, producing a steady brown cloud that enveloped the runners for most of the
You
course.
fucking idiots. Oh my god.
Stay behind the
You
runners.
fucking morons.
So now think of
They're
a lot
dehydrated. They have dust in their mouth. They can't even open their eyes for long. Not only that, but they're getting lost in the forest.
Man, there's nothing I love more than a good shit show.
nothing more than I love than Americans
It's so
from
good.
Missouri organizing a race
as an experiment.
as an experiment.
At 6 miles, Newton led with 1902 Boston champ Sam Mellor in pursuit of the dusty road. Behind them were Lourdes and Felix Carvajal, the Cuban mailman, who arrived at the race in a long-sleeve shirt, hat, pants, heavy shoes, and a notable mustache.
Oh, yeah.
Approaching the 10-mile marker, Fred Lourdes, plagued by muscle cramps, flagged down a car for a ride back to Francis Field. Carvajal also stopped, but to find a snack.
I told you. It was a dubious fucking win.
According to accounts, Carvajal ate rotten apples from an orchard along the road because he went back. He was hungry. He was running. He was a bit hungry. And he was just like, yo, I want some apples to like this guy.
Dysentery from the apples.
there was the guys who was running that orchard was like, no. And he was like, I'm just going to take it anyways.
Oh my God, he's going to get shot too.
He took the apple and he was running around. He was like having fun. Then he went to this orchard where he ate some of the rotten apples. He realized it was rotten. So he had like a stomach cramp. So one writer observed Carvajal playfully swiping peaches from spectators after they denied his request from fruit. Either way, Carvajal suffered from stomach cramps, laid down to take a short nap.
I told you somebody did that shit.
So in the rankings, you have Lourdes that's pretty far up. He's like second place. You got Len and Tauniane and Jan Masciani. That's like fifth-ish right now in the mile. You got Carvajal was pretty high up, but then he was tired and just straight up took a nap. You had Fred Lourdes that had muscle cramps, so he had to get a car to go back and and he couldn't continue the race. So that's where we are right now.
My boy.
Sam Mellor is actually pretty high up there. I think he's first at this point. At mile 12, the racers encountered the well that served as the Loans water station. Sullivan had intended to test purposeful dehydration in the race by observing how athletes would perform in high-intensity work on a hot summer day with a limited amount of water available to drink. So for what happened to them right now, it's Carvajal ended up having cramps and fell asleep. That's what happened to the race. And for, I think it was, for Fred Lourdes, he also had a cramp and he couldn't.
Because we don't have enough water to cramp up.
Exactly. So halfway through the marathon, Mellor was leading with Newton and Hicks respectively in second and third place. Mellor had been the pre-race favorite in addition to his Boston win. He'd podiumed there in 1901 and 1903 and won the Pan American Exposition Marathon in 1901 in 104-degree heat. But this time, Mellor's pace slowed by mile 16 to combat cramping. By another account, he'd incorrectly believed that he'd taken the wrong turn and tired himself out of running backwards on the course.
How fucking good was that?
In any case, he soon dropped out of the race.
Did not
finish.
I told you.
Told you got fucking lost.
He did not finish.
I did not finish.
He did
Just
not
gave
finish.
the vibe, man. I was like,
I knew,
it's
like-
too good. It's too easy. It's too easy
Like,
to be like he's
his
the winner of the
credit-
last one.
His credit is too high for like his other wins that I'm like, he's got to be a loss.
Hicks took the lead with Newton trailing.
Holy shit, the clown man's on top.
I swear
Clown
if
man's
Hicks
on-
wins, I'm
That'd
fucking
be pretty funny.
pissed.
I'm breaking something.
There's no talk of the other guys.
You'll see.
Len's gonna
Hicks,
come
now
in for
beyond the
comeback.
water station, began to grow desperately thirsty. He had two trainers following in a car, and he began to beg them for a drink of water. They refused, and instead gave his mouth and shoulders a sponge bath in attempt to relieve the thirst without hydrating their athletes. Because for some reason they were now a part of this, and they're like, you know what?
water on his shoulders.
We want to see what happens.
I want to see.
They
Maybe
threw
he'll
water on
die.
his shoulders, but not as like where he actually needs it in his
Well,
body.
because if they supply him with anything,
He needs his clown buddies to come and
Then
spritz
it's
him with
cheating.
that flour.
Completely. Near mile 19, William Garcia, a racer out of San Francisco who was in fourth place at the time, collapsed. He likely experienced the closest brush of death with any marathoner that day. On the side of the road,
nobody died.
he began coughing up blood and passed out before being discovered and
Jesus
taken to a
Christ.
hospital. I would have put him on the thing, but there wasn't enough information nor a picture of him. But I would have put it because I was like, holy fuck, like, why the fuck did that happen
poor
to you?
dude.
Len Taugnane was holding on strong, but as the last miles were coming up, a passerby walking with his dog ran off its leash and chased Taugnane off course for a full mile.
That
this
dog
man
was racist.
outran. I know, but this man outran a dog for a mile.
So he was
Did he
in
win?
first place.
Tell me he won. That'd be fucking amazing.
There's not
Racism
much
won the race.
Simultaneously beating racism.
There's not much that passerbys have seen from Taugnane, but he managed to keep this dog off of him for a while. Lourdes, meanwhile, was feeling refreshed after riding in a car for 11 miles after his cramping episode. He decided to continue the last miles on foot.
You fucking asshole.
Onto the stadium.
Typical bricklayer activities.
Yeah,
I like this guy.
always cheating.
He's got spunk.
And across the finish line, claiming the victory in under 3 hours.
For first place?
First place.
For first
I
place.
told you he was first.
Wait,
But if
wait,
I
wait.
told you he was
fucking
first.
win.
Just his first daughter, Elise Roosevelt Longworth, was crowning Lourdes as the victor. A spectator revealed that Lourdes has been driven along the course because what he was doing, he wasn't hiding it, by the way. In the car, he was waving to people. Like he was waving to
See, that's
the
something he would do.
That's something you could do. It's fucking show off.
Lourdes defended his victory as merely a joke, but the stunt earned him a lifetime ban. So he gets the dubious finish.
Oh, man.
Because he finished, but like...
I knew he looked shady.
I wouldn't have given him a lifetime ban. There was a social experiment going on.
As Lourdes was explaining himself away, Hicks held the lead with roughly 4 miles remaining, but he continued to suffer from dehydration. His trainers, making history, decided to give him something stronger than damp sponge. In the first recorded instance of performance-enhancing drugs used in the Olympics, Hicks was fed a combination of egg whites and 1 milligram of strychnine sulfate, which is rat poison.
It's rat poison. Yes.
Oh my
So
God.
they were feeding him this, thinking this was gonna give him,
What
because
the
like
fuck?
they said in this compound is used as rat poison, but at lower doses it can be a stimulant and currently prohibited in competition by the World Anti-Doping Agency. But the thing is, they were still feeding this man who was dehydrated a shit ton of egg whites and a mixture of rat poison.
Oh my god.
So they were poisoning him while he's fucking
So
around.
what happened to him?
So that's what happened to him in the race.
Is he dead?
We will see.
I mean, we already know who doesn't finish. He clearly finishes this time thing.
I don't know.
A ghastly Hicks continued, but his already mechanical form deteriorated and his pace slowed as he stopped to walk up a hill 2 miles from the finish.
Where a
place.
mountain lion ate him.
12th place.
This earned Hicks a second dose of strychnine mixture. Again, they just kept feeding him more.
poisoning
They were
him.
like,
Just
"Man, do you
keep-
not feel great? Here, take
And then he
some
had to
more."
fight a polar bear.
Water.
If this could kill a rat,
How is this legal?
They give him that plus a swing of brandy.
Well, that's
Just give the man
that's
some
for the
water.
times.
You
That's
should have
the
just gave him
medicine.
brandy from the start. Fuck
Yeah.
the rest.
It worked. Hicks picked up his pace to finish in 3 hours and 28 minutes.
3 hours and 28
what
minutes.
place?
3 hours.
What place?
First place.
No fucking way.
Ed Ben.
Yo,
Fucking-
that's crazy.
Fucking
Hicks
clown.
is insane.
I
Told you. What did I tell you about those lanky arms?
He's a
You,
serial-
Fucking menace.
you and your fucking stupid body mechanics.
It was the slowest winning marathon time in the in Olympic history by a 30-minute margin. But to be fair, he was drugged. Like this.
He was
man
probably like
poisoned,
on crack
drugged.
while
This is
running.
not a normal Olympics.
I can't believe they wouldn't just give him water. Like
For
they
the
did-
anything for the experiment, man.
We gotta find out.
Albert Corey finished second at 3 hours to firm. Nobody cares. 13 minutes later, Newton took third place. Carvajal His recovery nap delivered him to 4th place.
Hey, another right.
Oh, that's pretty good.
2 of them are right so far.
That's pretty good. Yo, he would have gotten first place.
He would have gotten
Two
first
He would
place.
have gotten first place if he not fucking taken a nap.
He's literally the hare and the turtle. Like it's
Yeah,
literally like I
literally.
slept off.
Oh my god!
Told you,
that's
he's
such
too-
That's
Dude,
such a thing for
he
this
The
type of guy
hat
to
told
do.
me.
He
The hat
swam
told me
from
that he's
Cuba.
too OP,
Yeah.
bro.
This man swam from Cuba.
No,
I'm
but
telling
this
you.
is exactly the type of dude. This is what it looks like, and that's exactly he's a gambler and everything. This is exactly the type of dude to gamble on a race like this and just fucking sleep.
As soon as I saw that hat and that mustache, I'm like, he
Yeah,
has
yeah.
hidden talents, brother.
Len Taugnane, despite being chased a mile off course by a dog,
Yes,
managed to get back in and take 9th place.
Fuck yeah,
Ninth
Len.
place. All right.
Masciani, where nothing of note happened to him, managed to finish in 12th.
Fuck
Oh,
yeah.
okay, cool.
After the podium, no finish times were recorded or they were lost, but the finishers trickled in for hours. This marathon lasted hours because of it. But like they were the ones that finished. So to recap, Masciani was the 12th place. Len Taugnane was 9th place. Sam Miller did not finish.
He finished first.
No, Sam Miller,
Oh,
no.
no, Sam Miller, no.
Not
Sam
Sam
Miller
Miller.
almost died.
Fred Lords
God
finished,
bless Fred Lords.
but cheated
Dubiously.
hard.
He fucking cheated.
He cheated.
He's the greatest Olympian of all time.
And Hicks actually won first.
That's insane.
Carvajal was 4th, actually. Carvajal napped and
All right,
took 4th.
tally up the point.
I actually want to know.
Typical.
I got
I gotta
Nothing
get
right.
back
sleepy
up
Latin
now
man.
and see who had this right. So for 1st place, you had put Lords. You were wrong. Sorry, Nick.
I was right.
well,
I was 100% right.
Len. You had put Len.
put
You
Len.
put Len, and
I
you
also
put John.
Len. I put the other guy.
Mhm. So none of you got that one. For dubious finish, none of you got it either. You had put John, you had put Tom, and you also had you also had put Tom, and you had put Meller. 12th place.
Miller
I
put-
did say that. I did later say that Miller would get lost.
Oh, it's true.
Miller, I
you
said he
still
lost.
got you still had it though. For 12th place, Nick, you said Len. John, you said Tom, and Nick, you said wait. You said that? Oh no, I think I mixed up some stuff. But like 12th place, nobody had it either.
Yeah.
I think Nick, you were close. You put Tom?
I think so.
I put Tom for John and everything.
I would tell him.
Oh, okay.
Oops.
For 9th place, John, you put Jen. You were really close, but it's not. It wasn't it. And other John, you put Meller. You had put Meller. Like, I think it's like you had put him there, and then after later on you switch,
Yeah.
and I didn't have time.
just said,
I'll
yeah,
still
it's all
count
good.
that as a point for you.
It's all right.
John, yeah, that
we both
point
had
too.
Miller.
For 4th place, John, you had that one right.
I had
You had Carvajal.
I'm at 2 right now.
You had 2 right. John, you have 1 right. Nick, unfortunately, you had like nothing right yet. Yet.
Yeah.
Because I think for did not finish, I think you had that one right. You put Meller.
I put
You put Miller.
Bricklayer.
You had one?
12.
You put you put Bricklayer 12th. You didn't think you didn't think he was gonna win. You didn't put did not finish, but you were like he's not gonna
Yeah.
win. And John, yeah, like you didn't you had put Lords. You thought Lords was not gonna finish. And then you actually put Carvajal. You didn't think he was gonna finish. Yeah, because you guys thought he was gonna
No.
get killed. You
was gonna
guys
get
were like
killed.
he was
They
gonna
both
get
thought he was gonna
killed.
get killed.
My Carvajal, I knew he was 4th.
He just worried me a bit.
So, John, you won. You had two of them.
Yes, I won.
Not you, John. Me, John.
God damn it.
You can't claim it
I'm
now.
trying to
fair.
remember who was the closest and what happened to them. You had 2.
So I have
A fact right.
The thing is, yeah. I've heard
Yeah,
of this
insider
vaguely
knowledge.
before.
Yeah.
I was sure I was going to be right on all counts.
We were full guessing.
So there was some I did not predict though.
I will give
Actually,
you like
no.
a spiritual win for the Lords because technically, yeah, you finished
did.
first.
He did finish first.
But I said
knew
said
it.
Felix was like he was gonna get dehydrated and like unfortunate circumstances.
You had the dehydration right,
Yeah.
but not for him.
yeah.
He
Oh,
just took
okay,
a
not for
nap.
him. Okay.
He just took a nap.
He just took a
He had
nap.
cramps.
He said dodo.
So yeah. So like to everybody, he got a cramp. Caval ended up having a cramp because he ate apples during the run. And it was just like, I'm just going to nap it off. Which kudos, because that's what I
Which is
do
the
if
most
I have like stomach cramps. I'm like, I'm going to nap it
nonchalant
off.
shit ever.
It's so funny. Sam Mellor, unfortunately, again, you had it right. You actually had it right for Sam Mellor.
Predict he was going.
He
and
got
that
lost.
I did not know.
It's,
Like I did not hear about.
you know what sucks is the fact that like they said like he actually took the right turn, but he thought he didn't. So he just like ran way too long trying to go another way and was just like, fuck it, I'm not doing this anymore. So I just felt bad. I'm like, man, you did not finish, but you were actually on the right path.
God damn.
So that's a wrap for what Olympics was this?
That was the 1904
The 1904 Olympics.
This was the Boston Marathon.
Crazy
What a
Olympics to be
show.
with.
It was a
Absolutely.
big shit show.
I wish we
It was
could go
really
back in
fun.
And a
time and
weird-
relive it.
Very weird
Not
place to do
fully.
it in Missouri. It's very odd.
Missouri, 1904, Missouri, with a human zoo right next, and then just like a bunch of.
No, when you think about it, they almost
Ill-organized.
did the 2024 Olympics in Los Angeles.
That would've been
that's
terrible.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Are you? People can't even drive there. Like
Yeah.
There
where
would have been
where was-
tweakers all over that course.
Disgusting.
Like you can't do shit. Like in you
would've
have no
been-
space.
There would have been tweakers, and the fucking people running the marathon would
You
be
have to
like
fucking
dodging
jump over
tents.
yeah, you'd have to jump over homeless people.
But like, would there even like? Is there even logistically anywhere they could have put that in?
Oh, I don't know. You
No.
have to make a
Like,
stadium or something.
They'd have to create. They'd have to obliterate a part of the
there's no space
Los
to create.
Angeles.
Like, all
to do
that
it.
area is so packed.
It's
full.
packed. It's full.
You'd
You
have
have
to
no.
go into like the countryside and like buy farms.
Their best
Even
bet
New
is
York
to shut
would have
down the
had place
airport.
for it.
Yeah.
I'd bet more on New York having more place than Los Angeles
Yeah.
having any place to do this. That's crazy. Hell
And
no.
you're in Los Angeles.
That'd be funny.
I'd
That would have
rather
been a
be in
funny
France.
Olympics. No, I'd still prefer Los Angeles than
Nobody
France.
wants to be in France.
France is
Nobody wants to be in
dirtier.
France. That's
France is
true.
dirtier.
Nobody wants to be in France or London. So I mean,
Yeah.
Fuck that.
All right.
London.
But yeah,
episode
thank you
for
guys
another
for
day.
playing the game.
Yeah,
It's always a
fun.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting.
Yeah.
Thank you. And our big winner is Jonathan Silva, right?
Congrats.
Oh.
Congrats.
As per
the wrong
usual,
sound.
you know, John 2 always in first.
All right. Thank you for listening. My name is John. You can find me on Instagram at Director John Ramirez. I also make movies. You can find me on Instagram and YouTube as Deadtime Media. Follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok. It's BVE Pod.
I'm John 2, the best John. Just make sure to follow the pod. Give us some love on our socials. We try to post every week. We've been working very hard on them, so I would appreciate the love. Just stay tuned. Give us some love if you can. Remember to leave the comment for our story. Try to follow along and let us know what you think.
Then I'm Nick. You can follow me at nick.serafino on Instagram. Thanks for watching. Mwah.
I'm Priscilla. You can follow me nowhere. I have nothing to plug. But thanks for watching. Thank you.
Thank you,
All right,
Priscilla.
Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.